I never told anybody this one thing. I wrote down this crazy goal, man, and it was just like out of this world. I do everything I can to make it happen.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Collectors with Cards Drinking Coffee. It's a late night recording, so again, I have tea. I might have to change the name of this thing, but today we have he's actually a returning guest, someone that was on the original podcast before we started doing this thing kind of big time. Good friend of mine, someone that has been big time for a while, but now is just taking the Poke world by storm, like straight to the top. He's on a rampage. Today we have the one, the only PokeRev. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Hey, you know what's crazy? I remember I was trying to figure out when, because I was on your podcast. I think I might have been one of the first 2 or 3 people.
Number
Third?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm on here and I'm looking at it. I just see right now that I have the last message I have from you on Discord is I'm ready when you are. December 13th, 2019. It's December 5th, 2020. So we're 1 year almost exactly from when we last did the podcast.
Yeah.
So,
and you're 2 days out from your 1 year anniversary. You created your new channel on December 3rd, 2019.
yeah,
if you
that's
didn't,
crazy.
Yeah, if you didn't know that exact date, I found it today.
Yeah, I did actually.
And it's incredible where you've gone. We first met in person at 2019 Worlds in Washington, D.C. This was in August of 2019, right? But before that, we had somewhat communicated through Instagram. Our first communication was through eBay. You bought a sealed Japanese base set box from me for $2,000.
That was the price.
And yeah, when I saw the name Pokemon Revolution Cards, like I obviously knew who you were. You were like the biggest Instagram at that time. You had 10,000 followers. You were like the guy on Instagram, basically. What was like how did you get there? I mean, I've had big YouTubers on like the old YouTubers like Gem Mint and all that, and they gained that following through their PSA grading and stuff. But you weren't really on YouTube. You were just doing Instagram, right?
Yeah, I was strictly Instagram, and I wasn't even gonna get on Instagram. And one of the old school collectors was like, "Yo, you should get on Instagram." I was like, "Why would I do that? Like, what's on Instagram?" And then I went on it, and I was so confused. I didn't even know what was happening, and I just scrolled through it. I'm like, "It's kind of cool." I was like, "All right, let me do this." I just posted up like a couple cards I got back in a booster box, and then people started messaging me on there and commenting. I was like, "Oh, it's kind of cool. Let's see if this goes anywhere." And I just kept doing that consistently and kind of making the connections, with people in the community and building it up from there. Kind of, it was cool. It was just a cool way to kind of, show off your collection, meet collectors. I mean, that's like where it started, with the genuine like passion and desire to meet people, have a good time, trade. Like I was, trading and buying and selling. And it started on Instagram. And I remember buying that box from you. And then I think you hit me up on Instagram and you were like, "Yo, you bought this box off me off of eBay." And I was like, "All right, man, let's go." I was like, I was pumped for that because I don't think I ever had a Japanese base set box. So
Yeah, I had 2 of them. That was the first one I sold. I told myself I would never sell the other, but of course I did. So,
you were pulling in stuff left and right. I remember
oh,
I would see your Instagram and it was just like boom, like carload, like you'd be driving, passenger seat, just stacks of jungle packs, fossil, base. I'm like, where is this guy getting this stuff? I'm like, this
I
is awesome.
I had so much, dude. It was so much fun. Like just being able to open packs, handle it all, do all that. But I mean, you weren't you weren't any shy guy either. You had your eye on all that stuff too. You had a ton of boxes, a ton of packs flowing in on your Instagram that you were showing off, and obviously now you're ripping through just about anything and everything for your YouTube channel. I mean, was that kind of like your main focus then, and still is today, is just sealed boxes?
Yeah, that's always been my focus. So back, like, I think we first spoke, I talked about it a little bit, but it was always, to me, that was my entry point, was getting the going on eBay and I was repairing like the old Game Boy games. I think I talked about this the first time I was on,
Hmm.
and like the red, blue, yellow, gold, the batteries would go bad. So I was like, all right, I was buying them and fixing the batteries up, and I'd keep some, sell some, whatever. And I stumbled upon a base set booster box under the little like a sponsored or thing on the side, and I picked it up for $900, and it was like that moment of like holding a sealed item from 1999 that we grew up with and having it in your hand and being able to sit there and actually opening it up and just like to me that's the experience. Like I
Hmm.
love, don't get me wrong, I love PSA cards, I love holding the cards, but like I think it's really like the experience. It's really like when you sit there and you open up that pack, it's like you're transported back to 1999 again. And not only that, but not only the sight of it and seeing it, but like the smell. I mean, you know that's firsthand too. And people that have never opened up an old school Wizard of the Coast pack, there is a distinct smell. You will only get it from Wizards of the Coast packs. I don't care what like any modern stuff. It has and they say that smell is one of the strongest like memory triggers. There it is.
Yeah, I just
It's
opened
fresh.
these.
Just open that. Just fresh, and it never gets old. And it's like it just transports you back to the day when you were, a kid, and that's what it is for me. So like that seal, like also keeping the seal, but also being able to the experience too is that's like a big thing for me personally.
Yeah, I mean that's where me and you connect pretty well because I have the same exact feeling. That's the one thing that I did when I got back into it was enjoying it. I was buying packs, I was opening packs, and I was making binder sets. Like it was that old school experience that I had as a kid doing it the same exact way. Sure, it was a little bit more expensive, but thankfully it was a little less expensive than it is now, so it was affordable. And yeah, I was just ripping through packs and just like collecting a whole base set, a whole Jungle Fossil, Team Rocket. Like I kind of did that all, and those were my cards. It was that experience of opening the packs, and those were my cards. No one else had ever touched them, and I mean, it's yeah, that experience is what drives this hobby. I mean, that's why you're blowing up right now on YouTube because you're giving that experience to people. Um, people can't afford to buy these boxes anymore. This is a $20,000 box, but when you break
Right.
it up and sell the packs, and then do it in a community way, the way that you do it with the audience that you have, it makes that experience 100 times greater because you got so many people there. Yeah, it's online, whatever, but in the world we live in today in 2020, it's the best case scenario, and everyone can be a part
Yeah.
of it. So yeah, that experience is the strongest thing. But yeah, you mentioned coming from like humble beginnings, basically buying red, blue, yellow for what $9 a piece, putting $1 into it for batteries and your time, selling it for 20, just nonstop, right?
Elbow grease,
Your work
the elbow
ethic,
grease,
right?
the work, right? Yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores. The put in the work, hustle, like just that's what it is. Like the just starting from. I think I started with I had like $15,000 in debt. I would just go on. I was like, you know what? Like I'd take a vacation when I could, and I'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna put it on my credit card, and like I'll just have to work like 5 times harder to pay that off. When you put yourself against the wall, when you're in a corner,
Hmm.
you're gonna be taking like the hits, right? Like imagine you're in the ring with like Tyson, and he's got you in the corner, and he's just giving you the body shots, the headshots, and you're trying to stay up. That's what it is. I think when you're pushed against the corner, like literally and figuratively, like you're gonna work like 10 times harder to get out of there and move forward to like what you want to be able to do and experience and accomplish. So that's kind of I feel like what it was for me. Like it's just not like just super like not I mean I didn't have a car, I didn't have any cards, I didn't I didn't have anything. Like I was just like your average dude, like working in an office, working just trying to get by and pay the rent and everything, and
Hmm.
just do it one day at a time. But yeah, it's that like as well that keeps you going, because like every step that you take and every like next move that you make could get you um, one step further to your goals in general. So that's how I've always seen everything. Like just put in the work and the effort, and that's what I try to do with the channel too. It's like I try to like I just do the daily content, like push it
Hmm.
as hard as I can, and make sure I'm having fun at the same time, right? Because it's about, you got to make sure you're having fun at the end of the day, dude. If you don't like what you're doing, you got to be, it's not gonna be good.
Especially when you're
It's
doing
not gonna
eight
be good,
hours
man.
8 hour streams of opening up packs. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I don't even understand how you have time to do this with me right now. And I mean, you're so responsive too on my texts and calls when you can be, and it's just like I see it's so clear how much work and time you put into this stuff. It's sickening to think about. Like, even if I had the Poke Cave and I had the beautiful support system that you do have, I don't think I could do it. Like, you're a machine. You're a machine, dude.
it's it's like over a decade of just pushing myself to the limit, but knowing right where I can be without pushing myself too far. So
Hmm.
like I'll know, like when I'm doing a stream for, it's like 6, 7, 8 hours. If I'm not feeling 8 hours, I'll know. I'll be like, if I go another hour, I'm gonna be like hurting. So I'll push it to, I like feel out. I know exactly where I can cut it, where I'm gonna be good,
Hmm.
and then I just do it the next day, and it just, that it's just kind of from years of experience doing that,
Yeah.
and learning how like far I can go, um while also, like still being able to do your daily things, and family and everything, right? Like, being able to
Put your
hang out with the family,
put your kids to sleep. Like,
do all those things.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
So
I mean,
it's like I have every minute of every day is just like, okay, this is what I'm doing here, there, here. Um, and yeah, I mean that's how I've gone this whole entire year of doing this whole thing on YouTube.
yeah, no, dude, I mean, not to get too far into your personal life, but knowing, I think you kind of took that leap, before Pokemon, where you started doing your own thing, right? You left that 9 to 5, started to take on your own job, or did you just kind of add that on to your 9 to 5 at some point?
So what happened was, I, basically I've tried a lot of different things. I failed a lot of different times. So I mean, really, like where it started was, um, probably back when I'm gonna say like my late teens, and I'm just, getting through the day, doing like the mindless job, not mindless, but like the
Hmm.
things that I don't focus on, and I'm just doing it to get the paycheck, right?
Hmm.
So like I'm doing like the office job, the 9 to 5 of like capturing like people's emails to send them like newsletters or something for a company that I don't really care about, stuff like that, or like, just organizing files, and things like that. But when you're doing those things and you're like, damn, I don't like this, and you're sitting there, you're like, how am I going to escape this? Like, what am I going to do to be happy? Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, number one, but also doing what you want to do. So really, all those times doing the construction work, like the back breaking work, climbing like, you know 20 stories high or whatever, doing all that kind of stuff, you're thinking, and you're like, I like, and then all these different things come to my mind, like, oh, maybe I could try this. Maybe I could try this. So the first time I wanted to try, like, to break out of and do something that I thought might have been fun was, I mean, at one point, I tried building websites. Like there was, a lot of stuff going on, like in the early, like 2010, 2009. It was a lot of like blogging, like
Hmm.
people would blog, those were really popular. Like YouTube was popular, but it was nothing like it is now, and a lot of people would stick to like blogs and websites and stuff like that. So
Blogspot.com.
yeah, yeah, it's like it's just like, all those like sort of like, I remember like Live Journal and that kind of stuff
Hmm.
people would do, but like that was still pretty big. And um there's actually a guy, it's a crazy story. This guy, his name is Pat Flynn, and it's like the crazy turn of events. But he's one of the guys like back in like the day, like 10 years ago, that inspired me. And he had his website, Smart Passive Income, and he talked about, building online businesses, and all this kind of stuff, building these things. And I followed him, and I signed up for his newsletter, and I'd read his emails and stuff like that, throughout the years. And there was all these different books and things I read over the years, but he was one of these guys that inspired me and definitely impacted me to a certain extent. But anyway, long story short, a couple of months ago, I see he joins up to one of my live streams and he's in the chat, and now he's a huge part of the community. Huge part of the community now. He's like there all the time. He's starting his own YouTube channel for Pokemon, and it's just I'm like, dude, like I've like known you like for like a decade, like literally 10, like I still get your emails to this day. And it's just crazy. Like it's just like a small world, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's in there following the Pokemon stuff now, and it's just interesting because he when I was talking to him, he's like, oh dude, like, you know, I love your content, I love the Pokemon stuff, I love what you do. I was like, dude, like you like inspired me too. So it's wild how that works. But I just tried different things, man. I had like my own beard care line. Like I started doing products overseas. Like I started manufacturing different kids toys. Like, dude, I've done so many like things. It's just,
Well,
some things work, right? And then the things that fail, the cool thing is I feel like you learn the most from when you fail.
of course.
Like if you're doing it right, I don't know if you're gonna learn as much. If you fail, you're like, oh man, I can't do this, I have to do that. Like, and that's how it is. But yeah, it's just like I could go dive deep into like all these things that I've done.
Well, I'll be honest. We need to look back at some of those ventures because with what you're doing right now, I think a PokeRadar like beard care line could do pretty well.
Dude, I know.
Like honestly, dude, like I think you're known for the best beard in the community right now, so you might have to revisit that.
I'll tell you one thing that's actually pretty crazy. I'm gonna write that down. But I do have something. I do have something that's dropping. Probably next week. I don't know when you're dropping this video, but
This will be 2
next
weeks.
week. Okay, so it'll be out by then.
Mhm.
So there's something you're gonna already know about that I dropped that is. I don't think I've seen anybody do this type of. I guess I'll call it like merch is what I'm gonna call it. But like it's like a product that I'm actually like dropping. So it's exciting. It's pretty unique, I feel like.
PokeRev phone cases,
Yeah,
PokeRev socks, PokeRev.
nothing like that. No, I don't know if you guess. I don't think you'd be able to guess it. I don't know. Maybe you would, but
I'm just spitting out all the ideas. I was talking with Zach, Gem Mint Pokemon yesterday. I was like, dude, you popularized the sticky note tabs for PSA submissions. You need to make a Gem Mint Pokemon sticky tab, and everyone will buy it.
Yeah. I know. I love how Gem Mitt's been taking like a backseat and just like sitting back and enjoying like everything and just like taking it in, like, because the man is like the OG of OGs. Like the dude inspired pretty much everybody.
That's
I
why
know he's
I'm here.
inspired you. He's inspired me, dude. Like I remember when I was looking up how to send PSA cards to PSA like 5 or 6 years ago. I watched his video first, and just the knowledge and everything and that he has. It's it's a man ahead of his time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say a hefty 50-60% of people that submit Pokemon cards learned how to do it through him. So,
it's like, how do we do this? Sat through and just explained everything. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, I just got a follow while I'm off of Twitch here. Cool. Nice. So, looking back at our first video, right? You know, we met up at Worlds. I brought in some boxes for yourself and Ryan and Zach and some other people, which is kind of how like we really like clicked, right? We made this big deal happen, and you helped me out with it. Obviously, came through with it. But I remember at Worlds, you know, talking the idea of doing a YouTube channel. I mean, I don't know how long it was brewing in your head. I know people were bugging you about it for a while because of, I mean, just look behind you. I mean, like, come on, show this stuff off.
Right.
So, yeah, it went from August, like mid-August, to December 3rd. You made your YouTube again, but you had old YouTube, right? And you couldn't recover those videos.
It was like, yeah, I used like it was like a old college email account to make it, and then I needed to like get back in, and I couldn't get back in, and clearly I didn't graduate. Dropped out 3 times.
Wow.
From different colleges. That just wasn't for me. Like I just couldn't pay attention. I would just sit there and I'm like, I can't do this. I just get up and leave, and then that's just what. I mean, if I tried, I probably could get through it, but I just didn't try. But yeah, so I was like technically on YouTube, kind of, sort of. Like I think I had maybe like a couple hundred subscribers, and I'd put up a video like once or twice every like year. So the one thing that like I always wanted to, but I always had other things going on in my life, other sort of like businesses that I had to take care of and tend to keep them going. But it was always like, man, if I could do like YouTube full time, that would be like the dream of dreams, and just like to be able to do Pokemon content. And I would just put it off. I put it off for, I mean, ever since I got into Pokemon 5 or 6 years ago, it was always on my mind, like to do. I just never like committed. And that's one thing about me is like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something. Like I'm gonna commit. Like I'm gonna put every single ounce of effort in. So the beginning, or 1 year ago, just about today, a couple of days ago was the 1 year anniversary for the Poke Cave. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna give myself. Well, first it started with like like I think it was like Instagram TV. I did like a couple videos on there. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I gotta get on YouTube. But I was like, I'm gonna give myself exactly 1 year. I'm gonna put in everything that I got in terms of like blood, sweat, and tears and effort into the channel. I'm gonna give it my everything. If it doesn't work out, I'll be happy that I know that I tried, and I'll learn from it, because I that's the one thing again, is like you learn from your failures and in the journey and everything. So I will have zero regrets if I fail. If I go a year and I put everything in, I don't make it, and it doesn't work out, it's all right. I'll be happy to know that I tried, but I won't be happy, and I will have the regret if I never do it. And I was like, it is now or never. You gotta go. So and it's really crazy that when we talked, it was only like a week or two after I started the channel, which actually is mind blowing. I felt like it was going for longer than that, but
Well, you're probably prepping and doing
um,
all the research on what to do and how to do it. So yeah, I'm sure it
yeah, it
felt
was
like
weird.
that.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, so I started it up, and by some sort of miracle, it just started going. I mean,
Well,
people
it's
started supporting the channel and everything, and like I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it.
I mean
I still can't believe it.
it's funny. I mean, I remember distinctly the one thing that, because I brought it up to you a couple times. You were only at Worlds for like that day,
Yeah,
and your concern was like the personality aspect. You were concerned
yeah.
about not having the personality for it, and knowing like that was the one thing that you didn't think would catch on. And
I remember that now.
I remember early on in your videos, it didn't start off like it is today. Like that's how it is for
No,
everybody. But
don't watch
man,
my first videos.
like you have fallen into it and just owned it. You've done an incredible job. You're a personality, dude. You're an influencer now. Like you made that happen because you have the business sense clearly from what you did prior to Pokemon, and even when you got into Pokemon, you knew what you were doing and after. You built up the inventory to do what you want to do here. You had the business in plan with the modern Pokemon, distributors and all that. Um, and yeah, that personality was just like the one thing you were worried about. And I mean, it was just like no time. It came into place, and I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
it
man.
was like it was weird, man, because like the beginning, um, I was like, I was like nervous to be on camera, and it wasn't even live. Like I wasn't even doing lives yet, but I was recording, and I was like, I would be like, oh man, like I was like, are people gonna laugh at me if like I don't know what to like, I don't know how to. It just was like the first, like I would say like the first couple of months
Mhm.
is like the when I was really like learning how to be more confident, and it's really like it's carried throughout my normal life now. Like I feel like way more confident in real life scenarios.
That's
It's
awesome.
it's like, yeah, it's crazy because I, I guess I'm a pretty, honestly, like I used to be a pretty shy person. I still feel like I'm pretty shy, but like I was never the center like of attention or anything. Like I was always like the guy that was just like chilling, or the kid that was like to the side, like just like watching like over like people's shoulders, and just like kind of like sitting back and taking in things. But I
Hmm.
think that's the the cool thing about it was like I feel like I've like just sitting back and like taking things in and learning things is like how I was able to grow by just like listening to everyone's opinion. I really like to listen to other people and like hear their opinions, their insight, and then take it take it in, and then make it into my own sort of like development that I get from all that
Yeah.
outside information. But like, yeah, if you want like, don't watch my first videos. Like it's just like I'm like super like way off. Like I'm super like not confident at all. But like again, that's the journey, right? It's like if I look back and I'm like, wow, like I can't believe how much like I've grown in just 1 year. Not like numbers aside and all that stuff. Like just it like personally developed. Like I think it's like pretty interesting. And like the other crazy thing, um, was like I never told anybody this one thing. When I started the channel, like how I said I wanted to give it a year and I'll just do everything I can and try my best and whatever. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I wrote down this crazy goal, man, and it was just like out of this world. I was like, and when I write something down, I do everything I can to make it happen. I wrote down. I never told anybody this. I might have told like one or two people, like my wife and
Ryan.
maybe like mine or something. I wrote down like literally like a couple people, couple friends. I wrote down on my list of goals 100,000 subscribers in 1 year, and it just like did not like it was just like the craziest thing to even like fathom happening, and it ended up happening, and
9 months.
It was crazy. Like even getting like even a couple months before it, I was like, oh, this is like not gonna happen, but it ended up happening. I was like, oh, I can't believe like actually like that was a goal that I set at the beginning of this year that was like literally out of this world, and it actually was able to do it. And that's what I hope it inspires some, like at least a couple people or whatever, to be like, you know what, like try this or try that out, because I had no idea. But that's you, dude. You're taking over the podcast game, man.
Dude, and I'm loving it. Like, I mean, again, I want to touch on that personality thing that you're kind of experiencing right now, because so I was the opposite. I was the center of attention as a kid. I was doing that, and I was extremely cocky, extremely confident, like to a fault. And it got so bad to like where it like ruined relationships, friendships, and stuff. So over time, like through high school and college, like I slowly hid it away, and now I'm like overly humble, overly honest, and it's again to a fault. So, and like people are like pointing that out to me. So I'm trying to like filter back into that confidence area. I'm more than comfortable than talking on camera and all that stuff, but I definitely still lack that level of confidence that I did have, and I'm trying to fall back into that place. So it's kind of funny to be on the opposite end of that and seeing that, because that was like brought up to my attention yesterday, basically, and a few days before as well. But yeah, I mean, the numbers with you are insane. Again, I went back and listened to our first podcast, and it was before I did video, and I had your stuff up on screen. And
Strictly the podcast version, right? There, yeah, I
yeah,
remember, there's no video.
Yeah, and you had 2.4 thousand subscribers, and I think I said
Really?
like, dude, it's been 30 days and you already have 2,000 subs. Like, you're killing it. Like, I was so happy for you, because we talked about this, and like seeing you actually do it, and you were getting all that support like right off the bat, because you had the big Instagram. So honestly, that first like 5K for you was pretty easy. And then I know, and then there was definitely a lot of growing pains from there. But I mean, looking at you now, I was looking at the numbers, and you did almost 6 million views this month. 6 million.
Really?
You have 175,000. The next person above you, Leonhardt, who has over 1 million subscribers, he did, I think, 7 million. And then Unlisted Leaf did just over 8.
So like, that's the thing, right? It's like I remember like trying to hit 1 million views, and it took like months and months and months and months and months, and so that's why my like goal was just like so crazy. I'm like, how is this even gonna happen? Like it's like I'm just gonna keep trying, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah, it's crazy. It's all like perspective and like being like, okay, we got this, now let's try this and this. But that's like one of the faults too you have to think about. It's like as you meet goals, you always want to get the next best thing, and even if you hit that goal from before, it's like you're like, oh, and
you always
and
want
I
more.
think there's like some scientific like sort of thing behind it. I've watched or read something about it before. I don't know the behind it or whatever, but it's like once you like always want to do like a little bit better,
Yeah.
or then you're like not as happy even if you hit that same goal. And it's weird because like all the way back here, you're like, oh, this was like the dream, and then you're here and you're like, no, this is the dream.
Yeah.
And then you're here, and it's like that eternal like struggle of like
it never ends, dude. Money, relationships, social media, it never ends.
Yeah.
It always continues to grow and grow and grow, and it's like it can get dangerous. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you see it a lot. I mean,
Taking a step back and like real like seeing like everything, like you have to like continuously do that or you get caught and like you're caught right here but you don't see like the bigger picture. It's like, dude, like you were here, man. Like
yeah,
you gotta like
yeah.
yeah. I
Like
get caught up in it too. I mean, I'm like I'll be like I get caught up in it sometimes too. I'm like, oh man, this video is like not doing good. But I'm like, if this was me like 6 months ago, I'd be like, dude, you legend. Like
that's what I'm saying to
not
you.
literally that,
Like,
but
man,
you know what I mean.
like I finally took that leap this year. Quit my 9 to 5. Started
Yeah.
doing this full time. Like, I absolutely love doing this podcast. I started doing like pack openings in the beginning, and I hated it, so I stopped right away. And like, yeah, I'm getting 500 views on a podcast that's like 2 3 hours long. It's the most incredible thing to me, and I'm just in love with it. And like,
I
it's
seen what you were doing too. I saw you starting to like cut them up sometimes too.
mhm.
Like do like the 5 minute
do
like sort of like scene and stuff. Like that's a good way to do it too.
yeah, do some highlights. Be able to get
Highlights.
that daily content out because
Hmm.
yeah, like you mentioned before, you gotta love what you're doing. And I mean, maybe I just caught it at a bad time, but I started Open Champions Path, and I cannot stand opening though that set. It's terrible. I mean,
It's
obviously,
all
unless you get the Charizard, but
it's all or nothing. You're either getting
yeah.
Gardevoir, Dreadnought, or Machamp hollows like all day. And you hit the Charizard. And it's like boom, like you got the Charizard. Other than that, it's like oh man,
Yeah, it's painful because
you're in
it's the
for a
same
rough
card
ride.
over and over. I pulled three like Scrafties or whatever, three Scrafty hollows out of
Crafty
one
dudes.
one
What I call them.
double box. There's 4 packs. I pulled three of them.
Yeah,
It's,
crafty dudes.
yeah, but I am enjoying like Vivid Voltage, so I'm gonna get some
Yeah,
some shiny V2 as well, the Japanese stuff. So I might, I've been doing that like on Twitch. I'm really pushing towards Twitch. I
yeah.
know we've talked about that a little bit too. That's where I want to be. I want to be on Twitch. I want to be big there. I think that'll be a lot more in my wheelhouse, um, just personally. But I mean, with how big you're getting, with how big your lives are getting now, I mean, you got to be getting in at a point where these guys want to sign a contract with you.
I would think I probably with I know YouTube especially like I'm sure like the bigger streamers definitely have contracts and everything like that.
Hmm.
So I mean, we'll see, maybe
Yeah.
they'll reach out and they'll be like, "Yo, sign this deal. Don't go anywhere else." I'm like, "All right, I'm not planning on it."
Yeah, I hope so,
Like,
because honestly, you deserve it with the numbers you pull in now, dude. It's nuts. I mean, the biggest YouTube guys. I mean, PewDiePie aside, or like, but like Doctor
yeah,
Disrespect, he brings in 30,000 concurrent viewers or so during his lives. You're getting to like
yeah.
almost 10K, and I know for sure that Doctor Disrespect is getting a 7-figure deal contract to work with YouTube. So when this comes into play for you, dude, I'm gonna be so happy because you're just gonna be balling. You're gonna have every
Like,
Pokemon box. Like, I know you already have every Pokemon box, but you're gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
what's cool too is I remember when he came onto to YouTube after whatever he got cut off of Twitch and all that stuff. And I remember when he came on YouTube and his like when he like jumped on, man, it was like the world was watching this dude. Like, man, I think he had like 200,000 or something.
Hmm.
I don't even know how many people were watching. It was something crazy. I remember it was like getting recommended to everybody. It's like, and it's cool. I mean, like just seeing him. Like, I never really watched him before that until like I watched him maybe once before he jumped on the YouTube. But I watched his stream. I was like that. Like, I find inspiration like everywhere.
Hmm.
And I was watching his stream. I was like, wow, this is professional. I mean, this is like it's like top of the line. And I was like, you know what, dude? Like, I want to try some green stuff. So like in one of my streams, I did up like the green stream, man. I was like everything. I decked it out, and I was like, dude, this is fun, but it's a lot. It's like a lot of work to set up green screens and make it all really
Well,
fancy.
he's got a
But
guy on that. He's got a guy on the side doing all the controls for him.
I don't know, man. I think but yeah, he might. I feel like he has like because I have the stream deck and it's literally
Right.
like the whole thing. You click the button, but he
Yeah.
might,
I
or
need
he's
to. I
just
need to.
clicking it.
I need to get one of those. No, he
If you
he.
get a stream deck, you
I'm
can literally click and like do whatever during
really
live
okay.
with the
I
button. Yeah.
I need to get one of those. But like that's how it is with like the big Twitch streamers, right? They got their mods that they stream basically with a separate PC. So they got their mods
Mhm.
that have remote access to it and can do all that stuff for them during
Yeah,
it.
he probably has somebody. He
So
probably does.
so I mean, honestly, like you're the perfect personality for that in the Pokemon world. You've got the Poke Cave. He's got his arena, right? So you can turn that into your own little thing too, and like I think it'll fit perfectly for you. I mean, obviously that's a big expense and a big next step for you, but I mean, we see you already, you've obviously brought on some editors now or a editor because your videos are
Yeah,
definitely looking very professional now. It's really cool.
it's stuff that I could know. I mean, I can edit, but like it'll take me a whole day
Hmm.
to do a video, to edit the video. Like I'll record the video and take. I'm really meticulous, and I'm really just. I want to make it all like as perfect as possible to a fault where it's like it'll take an entire day, and it's just like I can't like I just don't have the time. So
Right.
luckily, I do have editors that just they take it and they go, man, they
Hmm.
go and crush it. And yeah, my main guy is just he's just been just crushing it, and the consistency is a big part of that is because he's crushing it. We're on the same wavelength, we're on the same level. It's like, dude, we got this. Let's crush it out, and that's how I'm basically getting the daily content.
Hmm.
It's either I try to do it like right now. It's pretty much like every other day is like a live stream. So it's like live stream, edit it, pre-recorded video goes up the next day, live stream the next day. So it's like
Hmm.
it works out that way. To the consistency is important, but like at the same time, like going back to where don't you got to know your limit, right? You got to know how far you can push yourself before you're like you push yourself too far and you burn out. That's a big thing in YouTube is people got to be careful of is like is the burnout, right? You got
Hmm.
to make sure you don't want to burn out because when people burn out, they're done. They don't want to do it again. They just or they'll step away, and if you step away from YouTube for like a week, even a couple weeks, especially,
Game over.
it's like your YouTube is not going to push your stuff out. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
this guy's not too serious. Let's just forget
Yeah. I mean,
about
there's
it, and then
people ready to swoop right in that spot. So,
and
um,
they'll swoop in, and then yeah.
yeah, but
So and grow like so when I say consistently, like really quickly, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no
like
good.
just I for people that are doing YouTube, it's like when I say consistency, it doesn't mean do a video every single day. It's like do whatever you can do. So if it's one video a day, two videos or not one video a week, two videos a week, three
Hmm.
videos a week, whatever, do that. And if you can handle that and you feel good about two weeks, because that's what I started with like 2 a week.
Hmm.
I think I started with 2 a week, and then I was like, all right, let me do 3 a week, and then I was like, all right, let me do 4 a week, and I got to four or something, and I was like, and I was trying to go for five, and I was like, I can't make that step, so I had to pull myself back to like 3 to 4, and then when you put these other things in place, like the editor, this, or getting everything like figured out, then put on another day, see how that is, and then I got to the point finally, it took. I'm just at that point now. It took an entire year where I'm like, okay, I can do daily, basically daily content, maybe like once in a while, 6 a week, but
Hmm.
um, I think that's important for people that are getting into YouTube or doing YouTube, especially, is to figure that out as you go, because you can always add more, and just don't do too much off the bat, or
Hmm.
you'll burn out immediately.
Yeah, I figured that out really quick. I mean, I'm a person that will say I'll do something and then just don't follow through with it. So, like, when I told myself I was going to do daily YouTube videos, and then the way I was doing it, I needed to edit, and I can't edit, so that was taking so much time, and
Right.
that was the kind of the biggest reason why I hated it. And I was like, all right, well, I really love doing this podcast. I don't have to edit it. I cut some things out here and there, throw in my intro, outro, throw it up, done. Like it's easy, it's quick. Sure, it takes a
Yeah.
lot. It's an hour, 2 hour conversation, but it's something I really, truly, genuinely enjoy. Um, and now, I'm able to take clips out from it. I'm able to take clips from my Twitch VODs. Shoot, where was I?
It was just literally just talking about
Twitch VODs.
editing videos, and how you don't have to edit videos, but now you have to edit this one.
Yeah, yeah. So, so now I have to edit this one, but I wrote the timestamp down, so it should be easier.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm able to take my Twitch VODs and take clips from there, but that's taking a lot of time. Like I wish I had somebody like a moderator that was watching it and that was able to take it out while I was doing it, basically. But I'm far away from that point. Like I don't have any money, dude. I am broke. Trying to like buy and sell Pokemon cards, it's insane. So, I mean, I hope to one day get to that editor standpoint, but for now, it's I gotta, like you said, I gotta stick with what I can handle and truly do and enjoy doing. And I'm not gonna spend the time. It's not worth my time or my effort to learn how to edit and do those things because I don't want to.
Yeah,
Simply.
and especially now with like, so you could do the live streaming, right? You don't
Hmm.
really have to edit the live stream, but you can pull the clips and then the podcast. You could do a whole podcast and then just like you said, intro, outro, cut a couple things out, and then upload that. The people that want to watch through that whole thing will watch through the whole thing,
Hmm.
and then the people that don't, you'll throw up highlight clips, and even people that watched it the whole thing will probably jump on the highlight clips too. So that's a good way to do it, to get the content out there without having to like literally kill yourself with the editing.
Yeah.
That's what does it, man. That I feel like the editing burns people out.
Oh,
I really feel
absolutely.
like it is, because that was burning. That was like pushing me like right at the edge, and I was like, I can't, like, I just cannot deal with the like. I enjoy editing though. I actually have a fun time editing, but it's just like 6 hours, 8 hours. It's just you're done. You
Hmm.
know, you can't, like, your day's shot. So
Right. Yeah. Like I've made some like personal videos and I like editing those, putting them together because it's fun to like go back to it. But yeah, I know exactly. I mean, I follow YouTubers. I watch them. Like I have my whole life, and you can see, like you mentioned it, where you're really meticulous. So you do something one way and you stick to it, and you get in your head like it's got to be done this way, and it's hard to give up that baby to someone else to handle.
yeah.
But thankfully, you did it, and you see how awesome it is. I mean, these editors are crazy. They're so good at what they
They
do.
got it all. They had it all worked out, man. They have it set in there. I don't know what they do. They just click a bunch of buttons and they got it like programmed into, like, they already have like everything ready to go, and then just like templates probably set up and all kinds of. They know if they got it going down for like the quality and the speed and everything.
Hmm.
Like I was getting the quality, but the speed was just like slowest editor in the universe
Yeah,
speed. So it wasn't working, right? It
yeah.
wasn't working. So.
But all right, let's talk a little bit more about Pokemon. I mean, obviously now it seems like you're focused a lot on these live breaks. It's a great business model. I mean, you, you're getting that experience of opening packs. You're sharing that experience with a bunch of people, and you're making money on the back end of that too. You know, with donations and memberships and all this stuff coming in. So I know when you first started breaks, it was really just vintage. You were only doing like one vintage box or even two vintage boxes a week. And then prices blew up. That got difficult. So then you started bringing in a lot of modern, and that seems to be doing even better for you than vintage. Um,
So modern is good because it's like everybody can get on modern, right? It's
mhm,
like not like this crazy sort of like exclusive thing with the old school stuff. Like that's really what it's coming to now with the super old school stuff. Is it's gotten to the point where the prices on it is I mean, you can look back in the beginning of the channel, like when I first started doing the openings, and it was just like a completely different thing. And the one thing for me with the old school stuff, I was talking to you about this earlier, um, is I don't open any of my personal collection. So like things that I acquire from my personal collection are just that. They're my personal collection. They're a part of like my like the Poke Cave. They're a part of like the things that I collect, because a lot of I haven't showed a lot of people like my personal collections. I showed some of it, but not barely like really any of it. Um, so when I go to acquire like an old school box, it's like, the price of whatever is, if a base box is $30,000 or whatever that may be, um, that comes into the equation now for when we do the old school stuff. And I got into modern stuff like when Evolutions came out. I was getting into modern. Hidden Fates came out, I was getting into a little bit. Um, but I wasn't like really into it. I was
mhm.
like, it was almost like intimidating. It's really weird to say that because you would think the old school stuff would be intimidating, but for me, I was so accustomed to the old school stuff. I knew that, Generation 1, 2, and some of 3 Pokemon, that it came natural to me. I understood it and it was fun. And then with the newer stuff, it was like intimidating because I'm like, what is this Pokemon? Like, what does this do? Like, who is this dude? Like, I never seen this. This guy's like a bag of trash and he's a Pokemon, or like this thing is like keys and it's a Pokemon. I was like, what is going on? So I had to like um actually take the time to like really get into it and really appreciate it and understand it and enjoy it, right? Because that's the other thing too. If you don't like modern, you're not gonna have a fun time opening it. So I really started getting into it. I'm like, oh my god, like I really like this stuff. Like modern is like, and then I looked back and I'm like, there's so much modern that I never experienced. Like I did like a little evolutions. I did some hidden fates. that was like really it for me for with modern stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh man, like what's this? Team up, like Cosmic Eclipse, like this is sick. Like so I started getting really into it, and I was like, I want to do like these openings with modern stuff. And the cool thing about it too is like anybody can get in on modern, right? I
Hmm.
mean, really anybody can afford and jump in on a couple packs of modern. So um I started throwing it on Sundays. I started doing modern. I was doing Thursdays as well, but I actually dropped Thursdays because it's uh there's other things that I like to do on the channel, other types of content now. So I dropped Thursdays, but Sundays was like the modern things, like jumping in like Flash Fire, like all this stuff and experiencing it like for the first time with everybody live was like the coolest thing. Um so now that's a lot of what the channel is. But not only that, right? I try to hit every generation. I mean, you see like Black and White era, you see like Diamond and Pearl, the new stuff, the real old stuff. Like I try to hit everything, and I thoroughly enjoy like whether it's old school or new school. I mean, unless we're talking about like Steam Siege or something, or like a really bad set, like I'll just be like, I don't like this set. I'm not a huge fan of like Sword Shield base either. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm really like there's sets that don't that like is like you know what I don't really like them too much.
And
Um,
the price point
but
reflects that. So yeah.
yeah, and it'll be like so if there's something that I'm not really into or people aren't really into, I was like I came up with like the one thing where I was like, let me do like one booster box of every set from a certain generation and
Hmm.
do it in one video. So like I did an entire XY just recently, it was like a week ago, and that was like a ton of fun, dude, because it was like 14 sets, and every person had one of each pack from each set,
Oh yeah.
and it was just like so much fun, man, because you didn't never know what to expect, like generations and like all this stuff, and yeah, like Steam Siege was in there, but it was like a part of that whole like package of
It's
like
it's
check like
it's it's a historic
experiencing.
moment. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
historic era of Pokemon, and you just went through the whole thing. So yeah, that's really cool the way you
the
put it.
EX
Yeah.
cards, like it was almost like nostalgic. Like it's weird to say, like we're talking about X and Y, but it was like oh man, like dude, I remember like Generations. Like that was actually fun. Like I remember opening Generations and the subset in there, the Radiant Collection. I'm like, dude, like this is actually like starting to get nostalgic for me. It's weird to say. Um and then yeah, so then I did like the members thing because what happened was the openings sell out in like 10-20 seconds, sometimes less than that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I feel bad because everybody in the chat is like, oh, like I was here the whole time, I waited to the end, I couldn't get a pack, they were gone in a second, and like it kept happening, and I was like, man, I gotta figure out something. So I was like, what if I came up with like an exclusive sort of like thing, membership, where I can guarantee people like packs.
Hmm.
um and then I came up with like the whole membership. But not only that, like it's the whole thing. You get like the whole, there's all the perks. There's like whatever. I'm not gonna go into that, but there's like the whole list of perks with it that you get as well. Um, and
Well, you should. I
but
mean, that's an incredible. I mean, you're talking about the reasoning behind it, but it's also an incredible business move. Like that was a that's doing huge for you, massive numbers.
so
How many people do you have in your membership club?
um, it's definitely in the thousands.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely in the thousands now. And so with that, it's interesting too. Like just taking like a step back. So when I wanted to start YouTube, like for 5-6 years, ever since I started with Pokemon, I always was like, man, like I wish I started, man. Like I was like, I wish I started 2016. Like, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, all those years I spent, I really spent like enjoying, learning, building, like the means to be able to do the stuff that I do currently. Like, man, like sitting on E4, like the forums, like just taking in everything, reading all the threads, learning like as much as possible, gaining all the experience, building the collection up, like just I like as much as I'm into Pokemon now and it revolves around my life, it's been like that for 5 to 6 years that people haven't really known. Because like I know there's some people out there like, oh man, he probably just made the channel when the hype started with Pokemon. But technically I didn't because it was
Right.
it was a year ago, and I feel like the hype really started was like 6 months ago or so, like right at like over this summer when
Right when you blew up, which was perfect timing. You just had perfect
right like
timing.
with the timing, right?
Yeah.
So going back to like the membership thing, just built like all the things building up over the years of my experience in general with like everything, whether it be like business or just be trying to work as hard as I can and learning and all that stuff, like it all came to fruition with this channel starting up at that time frame a year ago. And then when I think about it like that, I really have no regrets, because I would not be in the position that I'm in now if I was fully
Into this.
in YouTube 5 to 6 years ago, because I would have never done all the things I did over the last 5 to 6 years. Because like you said, with the whole like time constraints things with me and everything, and like how I'm super limited on time and everything, that would have been the case back then too. And so I would have never learned all the things I learned about Pokemon and you know, like all that stuff, all that experiences. So basically that's how
We probably want to have a
when I
relationship,
think of all these things.
because that's
Yeah,
relationships suffer with time, because you can't.
I wouldn't build the collection up either.
That,
I
yeah.
probably would have. I wouldn't have focused on all this stuff that I focused on throughout those years. And but yeah, so like just having the understanding of all these things, is kind of how I've thought of these things during the channel's lifespan so far of 1 year. It just comes with that like experience. So, but yeah, the membership thing, I really feel like um,
I'm not a member. What
it's
are some of the perks?
so some of the perks, it might sound silly, but it's like a lot of people enjoy it, and I kind of I enjoy it as well. But like, so one of the things is you get like a badge next to your name in the live stream. So
Mhm.
if you're a new member, you have like the alien whole thing with the channel is like the alien luck, and that's all like the backstory. I won't get into that, but like,
Yeah.
so you start off, if you're a new member, you have like the green alien. Then if you're a member for a month, it goes bronze.
Yep.
You know, then it goes to silver. Then a year, it's like Twitch has the
I've got
things.
that for
And then
Twitch. Yeah.
yeah, so for like that kind of thing, then the emotes, you get like all the emoji things, the custom ones of
Mhm.
like me doing things or whatever,
Right. Right.
or
Right.
Veronica, like
Oh,
um
you got her in it now.
and she's in there, she's like the shock surprise face, or like the
Yeah.
classic like Twitch thing.
Yeah.
So you get that, you get like the exclusive, like the community posts. So like I'll post random things for members on there. You get like 15% off merch. So there's like a coupon code for 15% off merch, which I see you're already repping. You got the
Got to. It's my boy
Yeah,
right here.
and you hooked it up with the radar hat, dude. Like,
Of course.
it's a nice combo there, dude.
I've got mugs
Um,
that will be available soon,
oh yes,
so
let's
I'll get
go.
those out.
Yeah,
But no, I
and then
mean
the
that's
one
it.
other thing is like
Yeah.
the big thing, like the big draw of it is that you have access to the members' openings.
Right.
That
Which are getting out of
it
hand
started
now
off.
too.
It started off as a very very like it was the members' opening day. It was
Yeah.
the day of the month where all the members got their packs open. So the first month, it was 1,300 packs. It was the Charizard hunt. So it was like you get 4 packs of Burning Shadows and 4 packs of Evolutions. 1,300 packs, did it in one stream. The longest stream I think I ever did was like 9 or 10 hours. It's like, whew,
Jesus.
that was crazy. Went to bed. You know, took a couple days to pack the orders out, and I was like, man, that was nuts. Next month comes. I was like, let me do something even cooler. We'll do the ultimate Charizard hunt. We'll get evolutions. We'll get Burning Shadows. We'll get Flash Fire. We'll get a pack of I don't know. I can't even remember. But then that was like that went, and that was like 3,000 packs, or no, it was like 2,500. I was like something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is gonna be 2 days now. So like, let me get 2 days. Like, let me put 2 days to the side. Like, luckily I didn't do it on the last day of the month. I was like, all right, I got 2 days at the end of the month to hit this, to bang this out. So we'll do them back to back. No big deal. Month 3 comes. The whatever, the hidden fates, this, that, like and that's the one other thing too, is I want the members openings to be like fun sets. Like, I'm not just gonna throw in like, you know, like
Steam
some
Siege.
sets that people don't really care about. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Right.
do that. Like, I want to make it like a fun thing that people really want to open.
Mhm.
And so the next month it was like, you know, hidden fates, blah blah blah, and it was like it was like 4,000. I was like, oh, this is like getting really crazy now. This is gonna take me like 5 days,
A week.
like 4 or 5 days. I was like, all right, let's do it. I did that. Then the next month comes, and it might have been like this month, and it was like
7,500 packs.
7,500 packs. There was one before that actually too. It was like
Okay.
6,000. But at that point, I was like, oh, this is nuts. But yeah, then it hit 7,500, and what happened with that was I put the members opening up. It's like I posted on the community posts, and I put all the information on to access it and everything. I put it up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make it still like there's no limit to it, so you can buy as many packs as you want, whatever. And we'll see how it goes. Like, it'll probably be, you know, maybe 5,000 or so packs or whatever, and I should be able to handle it. 10 hours after posting it, it's at 6,000 packs, which originally the month before took the entire month that was right when it's right when the exponential growth on the channel just like blew up. It was like the amount of subscribers from the last month, this was like double or triple, and it was 10 hours and we were already at 6,000 packs, and I was just like,
Did you have that
and I
many
just sat there
packs?
and I was like, I have the packs. That wasn't the I have the packs, but the problem was if I leave that open for 30 days, I'm gonna have 25,000 packs to
Bro,
open, and that's gonna take me 3 months. So I
that's
made an urgent message. I was like sitting on my keyboard. I was like, "Oh man, I hope people don't hate me." I'm trying to figure out what to say. Like I feel so bad because you're guaranteed to get the packs because you're a member and everything. But I was like, I'm gonna leave this open for 24 hours total. If you get them, grab them. After that, I gotta cut it off. Like I'm so sorry, but
I mean,
and
you're at,
everybody was totally cool about it. They were like, "Oh, we completely understand." So I left it open for 24 hours total, and it cut off at 7,500 packs. So I'm currently in that now, and I could probably crush like 750 to 900 packs a stream. So it's probably going to be like it's like 2 hours of stream, not 2 hours, 2 weeks
2 weeks.
probably
Yeah.
of streams with maybe like 5 streams a week or something. So like 10
Jeez.
streams at like 6 to 8 hours a stream. So I'm pacing myself. I'm making sure like I'm like I said, like I push myself till I know where I'm at. I'm like, okay, I got to cut it here. 6 hours, whether 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever the case may be. But anyway, so for the next members opening, I figured it out. It's like there's technically a limit, but there's not. So how it works for here on out, or at least for the next one, is that you get a maximum you can get opened on stream per person is 6 packs. But I you can purchase as many packs as you want. The rest of those packs will be shipped out sealed once your other packs are opened up. So I feel like that's a good middle ground.
Jeez.
So it's like people still can
How many
grab a decent
packs
amount
do
of
you
packs.
have, dude?
So
I know. I know.
that's one of the things people ask me.
Yeah.
It's like,
How much do
all
you
right,
have? You can't answer that. You shouldn't answer that. But
so that's the thing, right? It's like not so much that it's more of so of like people think like some people might think like, oh man, like Rev probably is going to every Target in the East Coast, every Walmart, and just putting everything in the cart, and no, like that's where like the whole like business thing comes through of like my experience of like being signed up at distributor level where you're getting things like on actual skids, like like a skid, and like I have like I have a pallet jack, so
yeah.
like you comes on the skid, and it's like thousands of pounds of weight on your skid, and that's your order for the new set that's released. So Hidden Fates gets released, you put your order in, and or it gets reprinted like 3 or 4 times, whatever the case may be, and I put that order in, and
100
I
cases come to
get
your door, and
right, I
yeah,
get my 100 cases,
yeah.
to the warehouse, and it comes in, and then I allocate that for members openings. So where it's like, okay, like I'm gonna hold on to some of this, and I have the means to do so. Again, going back from like the experience and all the stuff from throughout the years that I've worked towards to be able to do that. And like, so when people say, how do you have the Hidden Faithful? It's like, well, I'm not like a normal card store where, so they'll take all pre-orders in, they'll pre-order everything out, they'll get all their payments, and then when the set is released, they'll send the cards out to the customers like right away, and then that's it. Like they're gone, like they're out of stock, or they got to wait for a resupply or whatever. So how I do it is I don't really take pre-orders, but what I do is I allocate that for the openings on the channel, like the members openings and all that stuff, and I'll hold on to decent amounts of each thing. So when next month comes, I could pick from here. I could pick we want a little Hidden Fates, we want a little Burning Shadows, we want some evolutions, and I put that together into like a members package. But the thing I'm kind of scared though is it's getting really hard to get stuff now. Like it used to be, even like over the summer, I could put orders in, I could get more evolutions, I could get team up, I get this. That's not the case anymore. I tossed to my distributor, I'm like, yo, what do you got? He's like, I got Sword Shield base, I got some Rebel Clash,
The stuff you don't want. Yeah. Now,
I got a couple other things for you. Like you used to be able to go back to like different eras. Like I could go back and get like a lot of the X and Y, some X and Y, but mostly all Sun and Moon stuff. Like you wanted to grab cases of whatever, you grab it. But everybody's just buying everything now, and that's the thing with going on with Pokemon, even with Modern, is that like Vivid Voltage. I don't know if you were aware or not, but that the print run was cut short on Vivid Voltage.
really?
Like they cut that print run short like 30%. They only got like 60 to 70% of what they were going to print for Vivid Voltage because their printers are always running, right? So it's like they're always printing stuff, but they can only put one set on each printer. So they got to pick, like, are we doing Vivid? Are we going to do a quick reprint of Hidden Fates? Like, what are we doing? And they got it on there, and they had to take it off because they got to get other sets printed. So that's what's happening is, like, Pokemon just can't, like, they cannot keep up with the demand, and it's causing, like, all, like, this crazy market of, you know, flippers and people buying out stores, and, like, I don't mean to rant, but I just feel like it's really, like, relevant of what's happening right now with Pokemon, and just tying in with the members opening. Just long story short, I don't know.
I mean,
like, I'm getting worried. Like,
Ryan's not going to sell me any more of those Vivid Voltage or any at all. He was going to give me a couple cases, but I don't think he will at this point. But
well, Vivid's going for, like, I think $170, like,
yeah,
a booster box right
I
now or
got one
something.
case. I'm doing a break on that app again next week. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's fun. It's a good set.
it
It's a
is.
solid set,
Yeah,
man.
I opened a
It
case for
doesn't rely on
myself.
Charizard.
Yeah, I opened a case for myself on Twitch, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I pulled
Did you
it.
get the Chonkachu
I did.
Rainbow
I
Pikachu?
did.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's tough. That's a
Yeah.
tough pull. It's like 1 out of every 1,200 packs or something.
Yeah, so like 2-3 cases. But well, I guess yeah. So, well, I mean, to touch back, like way back to what we were talking about before, like you're providing free content for people basically, right? So, you know, it's the Twitch world. People say it's crazy to pay $4.99 or $7.99 to somebody a month, but in reality,
Right.
you know, they're providing you free entertainment, so you got to support your creators. And the fact that you're getting to this point where you can't, you know, provide to all these people because you're so big now, you need to realize that, like, yeah, you're an entity, like you're on this another level, and you cannot. You're one person, dude. You cannot do all that.
I
So
was joking around about when augmentation happens, I'm gonna get my Machamp arm, so I'm gonna have my 2 extra arms, so I can open up double the amount of packs at the same time. Like, that
well,
is the
hey,
solution.
if you want to buy out the Pokemon Radar name, I'll be happy to be your second man on the team.
Well, that's like that's one of the things that, all jokes aside, like, it might be a thing of the future. Right now with COVID and everything, it's just kind of crazy trying to figure logistics and things out. But, like, it might get to a point where, you know, the Poke Cave is like something that reaches further and brings on, you know, people, because, like you said, like, at the end of the day, I'm one person, but, you know, if somebody is, you know, in the UK, and there's somebody in like Japan, you got people like that are all under, like, that, like, Poke Cave, like,
Umbrella.
brand or entity.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that I do have, like, you know, written down. Like, I have ideas, even if it's stuff that I don't think will ever happen, like opening up, like, an actual, like, physical Poke Cave location, which it's on there, but it's like, it's a long shot. It's possible. I always write it down just in case. But yeah,
That's a money loser, but it'd be cool.
yeah, it's more of like a sort of like a spectacle type of thing. I feel like, where it's like you can go and like visit, like, the Poke Cave, and, like, I would make it more of like an experience. I feel like that's the future of, like, physical locations. Like, you see Toys R Us coming back, and they're all about, like, the experience,
Yeah.
right? Not just like walking into the store and just seeing something on the shelf, like interactive things. Like, if I ever did it, I would want to, like, really, like, do something like,
Yeah, I mean,
that's never been
again,
done.
like that thing specifically would probably lose money, but
It would, yeah.
because you're able to build up all these additional streams of income, like it would just
It would be
it
something
would
where,
add
like,
to
you take
that.
it.
Yeah, it would just add
Yeah.
to that, and I mean, overall, it would probably be a win, but like that specific thing would probably be
Yeah.
a loser, you know?
It's like there's things that I'll take hits on daily, but
Mhm.
it's like the Amazon model, right? It's like you realize that, like, yeah, you're taking, like, hits, like, on certain things, but, like, in the long term, you know, you're building out something bigger
Mhm.
by doing that. Like, Amazon will be like, you know what, we're gonna sell this for this. We're gonna take a loss on it every single time, but we're gonna be, like, the leader in the this or that.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm a leader in anything. I'm just saying, like, just for the Poke Cave in general.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna come over there, take a 1 week Poke Cave training, and then you can just give me your YouTube login, and I'll be shift number 2 for your opening. So you have just
Number 2.
constant lives, just all day and night.
That's the thing, man. It's a very possible scenario. I'm not, like, it is a very possible scenario.
I'm actually very interested. So when that time comes up, give me a call. Like we'll talk about it. Like
Listen,
I think that'd be fun.
You're
So
there. You're on the.
that'd be
You're
so
on
much
the
fun.
list, man.
I mean, like I
Yeah,
said,
if
I
we can get
just
it figured out.
I just want to open packs.
Logistically.
So
Yeah, no, like, that's the like your first like probably like month, your fingers are gonna be like fire, like just hurting. Like you'll be like opening like because people ask me all the time, how do you open so many packs? I don't know what it is, man, but like you build up something in your fingers, muscles or
Hmm.
whatever you build up, like it doesn't like nothing, like doesn't hurt me. But like like the first times I was really pushing it, like and doing the mass openings, like man, your fingers will be like burning and like throbbing, like your fingertips.
Hmm.
But
Start cramping up
you
and
went to that, man. You just keep doing the same thing, and you just your body figures out like, all right, let
yeah.
me do a little something here, put a little extra muscle here, a little extra callus there, and you'll be able to, you won't feel it anymore. It's crazy, man. It's just like you adapt.
Yeah. No.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't
some
imagine.
people ask me like, why don't you just cut the tops? I'm like, I don't cut the
No,
tops.
that
I
takes so
go
much
in and
time.
you
Yeah.
just yeah.
Yeah. Rip right into it, dude. Do it the right
You
way.
take the hits in the beginning to build it up, and then you be like, got it, boom.
Yeah. I've got the technique down, I think, but yeah.
You got
No.
the technique down.
I
You gotta start build up the muscles more in
Yeah,
the
the
fingers and
tolerance
all that.
there. Yeah, yeah.
The
My
tolerance.
my my basketball calluses have gone away since high school. So
Oh, you'll get Pokemon calluses then.
Pokemon
The packs.
calluses are the new thing.
And open certain packs are more difficult to open than others. Evolution's like butter. You
Yeah,
literally just go like this and it falls apart. Burning Shadows burns your hands.
stuck.
It's like they super glued them. Not even kidding. There's certain packs that are just like brutal to open up. Yeah,
That's funny.
it's really weird. I don't know what sometimes it's really easy. Other sets, there's specific sets. It's like I know I'm opening. I'll purposely put in like a certain set that's easier, literally physically easier to open than another set. Like so, it's like not back to back with like brutally
Hmm.
hard set packs open up. You learn these things as you open up thousands of packs like weekly.
That's
Weird.
hilarious. That's really funny. I couldn't like yeah. I've definitely noticed that. I haven't opened enough packs to like distinguish that, but that's really funny. Only
It's
you would know
weird, but it's true. Yeah, it's like if you're opening up these many packs, you like your just body just you just feel it. You're like, all right, this is different.
So what's like what are you doing? I mean, you have no time now, right? To collect really. How is that going? I mean, you have this incredible collection. I mean, you have every single WotC box. You've opened every single WotC box now at this point. Um, I'm sure you have a couple duplicates here and there, and I mean, obviously behind you, you can see two Team Rockets and all that. You have the incredible video game collection that Mizkif gratefully started to pull out of you because you'd never show that thing off, that collection of video
Yeah.
games. Um, how's your collecting going? What are you doing on that end?
So in the beginning of the channel, I actually used to do mail days where I would go through my mail for the week and I would have like, all right, this is for my collection. This is going for like openings. This is going for like long term holding this or whatever. And this stuff I'm using for like to maybe trade for some other things. Like I had the time to do that, but as the channel grew and I got less and less time for it, um, it's tough to find the time to do that kind of stuff and like actually focus on collecting goals, like focus on a binder, focus on this. Um, so, but then again, going back to like over like the last 5 to 6 years of actually working on the collection and stuff like that, I feel really fulfilled with my collecting.
Hmm.
Um, Mostly, I mean, there's definitely still things that I would love to get that are, sealed Pokemon Red and Blue.
Oh,
Like,
that's right. You don't have those,
I
do
don't
you?
have them. There's certain things that are like, I'm like, man, like I don't have them yet, and I don't know. It
They're
just got to the point
so
where it's just
pricey,
it's just like,
astronomical.
yeah,
We
it's
talked to
at the
Ryan
point.
about that when I had him on, and I
Yeah,
remember staring at them, $1,000, $2,000 in my cart, and I just didn't do it.
they were. I remember seeing them like 500.
Yeah, and I just
Yeah,
never, I never did it.
I don't know either. I don't know why I never did either. I mean, I have like I've got like gold, I got silver, yellow. I
Even
mean,
those I still can't do, and silver's still
I
sitting
got
at a
lucky with a lot
thousand,
of them.
1,500, like, and that's the one I really care about. We talked about that in the first podcast. Like silver and gold version were like the real. That's where we fell in love. That was like the
Yeah,
game,
they
because
put it all together with them. They
and
really put
I
it
just
together.
still haven't done it, and I don't know why. How
Yeah,
many silver
I
versions do
got
you
lucky
have?
with
Can I
some of
buy
them.
one?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yellow, I got really lucky on. Like it was like a friend, and then it went to Ryan,
Hmm.
and then Ryan to me, and it was just like then the gold and some of the other ones were like during my video game like extravaganza, like of just going like crazy for video. One summer I was talking, you probably saw it when I was talking to Mizkib. One summer I was just so like enthralled with like sealed video games and consoles that I just like spent the whole summer, like that's what I was doing, just hunting that kind of stuff and going in on it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, it was
we
so much
talked on
fun.
the phone about that, like right when you started
Oh,
doing
I
it,
remember. Yeah.
because you were telling me about WADA.
Oh
You were
yeah.
telling me all about
Yeah, the
this new
9.4.
company. Yeah, 9.4 on the original U.S. Super Smash Melee.
I like WADA for those for like the GameCube
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, for anything that's like this way, because
Yeah,
I know
all things, yeah.
VGA is, yeah, so it's kind of difficult,
'Cause
but
I
this is
think it
the,
looks good with like that with the
yeah,
GameCube and Wii and that kind of stuff. I feel like,
yeah, like the newer age stuff. It's like the
man, that's
CGC
gotta be
of, it's
worth quite a
a
bit.
lot, dude. Like I had no
Great.
clue. I I remember
So that's a black hole. That's not even a player's choice.
right. This is the original U.S. release. Like this is it.
That's what people want.
And let me tell you, I wouldn't have gotten this without you, because you did a video or a live on Instagram, and this was after we had that phone call about WADA and
Yeah.
video games. And I remember telling
Yeah.
myself, like, I can't dive into video games. I don't even have enough money for Pokemon. I don't want to learn about the seals and all this stuff. I don't have the time. I don't have the money.
Seals.
Like it's too much. So I just didn't get into it. But I remember you talking about like a Yoshi story that you bought off of Amazon. Now, if you're buying this stuff off of Amazon, they literally list it brand new, sealed, whatever. There's no actual pictures of what you're buying. And you got the original Yoshi story like super cheap, not the like bestseller or whatever version, right? And I was like, okay, there's an opportunity there. I'm gonna go find the one, like this Super Smash Melee. This is the number one thing in my life, like nostalgia wise. This is bigger than Pokemon. It's bigger than Dragon Ball Z. It's bigger than everything. This is number one. And I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm biting the bullet. I found two listings on Amazon, $250 each. Bought them
Yeah.
both. One came in bestseller. I was like, oh, okay, still a good deal. This
Still,
one,
yeah. Looking back.
yeah. And then this one came in. I was like, holy shit. And because there just weren't any available on eBay or anywhere. Like they just weren't there. And if there was
Nope.
one popped up, it was a ton of money. So I just got super lucky doing that Amazon. That was because of your Yoshi
Dude,
story.
I'm happy to hear that.
And yeah, it graded a 9.4, which
That's amazing.
it's
Yeah.
got it. I don't know what it's
9.4 is
worth.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, you reminded me of that. I completely forgot I would do that. But like just going on Amazon, just being like, let's go, let's see what happens. And then sometimes you get something that was like a bestseller. Sometimes you get like a legit like black label. Sometimes you get like a crushed box that still is sealed but like crushed up. But like then like in hindsight, it doesn't matter. Like all of those were good deals. Obviously, looking back now, like even that bestseller probably is like I don't even know what they go for.
That one
but
got
it's
a
probably
9.6.
Oh, you got it graded too.
Yeah. I kind of obviously if the grades were flip flopped, but I got the 9.6
Hey,
on
that's
this one. I mean, so
that's
this
A
is
plus field too.
like
That's amazing.
it's like $1,500 or something. Like
That reminds me. That's another thing I need is Smash Bros. But I want the N64.
you can't find them.
But I remember playing the GameCube one like all the time, man.
Yeah, the melee is so expensive.
Who's your main?
Chic.
Who's your main? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
Chic
know
main.
some people. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched the documentary? Have you
Oh, yeah.
heard
There's-
about? Actually, Ludwig was streaming it a couple days ago. I know you've talked with him too. He was streaming the whole thing. Yeah, that was like life changing for me,
The
dude.
documentary on like some of the biggest players. Or,
Yeah. East Point Pictures. They do like a whole, like 7 or 8
Yeah.
episodes, and they
I've seen some of them. There's actually a guy. Yeah, I remember that. I knew him like I knew him personally for a little bit, and I didn't even know he was doing all that. But
oh
he was
really?
like, yeah, he was like doing. He was like the guy that used. Was it Jigglypuff? Yeah, Jigglypuff. I think because that was like the big
Hungry
like,
Box.
I think it might. I think that might be his handle.
Or
I can't remember. But he was
yeah,
also from New Jersey, and
yeah.
like
that
I've
was him.
spoken to him before and stuff, and yeah, and it was like I watched. Those are really interesting. Those are cool to see. Like, that's like the grind, man. Like the to be able to do that and
Mhm.
actually like be like a top contender for that game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my main, is actually funny because my main is actually Pikachu.
Is it
Like that
really?
is my yes, it is Pikachu, and people hate me when I'm Pikachu because the down B Thunder is just like
Very annoying,
so annoying,
especially for a
very annoying.
Sheik player who has to play in the air. So it really
Yep.
ruins everything.
Yeah.
That's
You get to
hilarious,
dodge.
dude.
And, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you had to do a
it's
little,
always been Pikachu,
and then you kill him.
and
Yeah.
like I was always like really good against my friends. Like everybody would
Hmm.
always try to like play me. Like they'd be like, all right, we gotta see what we can do. But like obviously like I was like compared to like actual players, like I would get destroyed in the fight.
Same
It
exact
was like
way.
because everybody thinks they're good at Smash,
Right.
most people actually aren't.
Right.
Like I was like,
I
I'm not
can't.
good at this game. Like,
I can't
and then
wave
you play
dash. I
somebody that's
can't.
actually like, yeah,
I don't
that's
like.
actually like somewhat like not professional. Even if they're just like on a level of competitive, and you're just like done. You're
Yeah.
roasted. It doesn't matter. Like they'll just destroy.
It's not
Make
even
you look
close.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the greatest. It's in my opinion the greatest video game of all time. Great. It's greater than 64. It's greater. It's the greatest game ever. And
For the Smash games, yeah. I mean, it's definitely way better than the 64 version,
yeah.
without a doubt.
What's
But
your
what do you
favorite
think
game?
about this favorite game of all time?
Yeah.
Um,
What were we gonna ask? Smash of.
no, I was gonna say, what do you think of the Switch version though?
Oh, I've
Like,
never really played it to be honest.
yeah,
I played a couple
a
times with
lot
the
of
new
people.
stuff, but I just have such like, it's that typical
The
old
GameCube is way
old
better than
guy
this.
thing. Like, I'm so
Yeah,
attached to this, nothing can be better.
yeah, I feel you on that. And that's the same thing with me. It's like trying to play new video games now. Like they're really really good,
Hmm.
but the nostalgia is tough to
Yeah.
like connect it to. It's like, yeah, I could play some Mario 64 right now, or like some
Mario,
old school.
Mario Party, East Coast
Yeah.
guy. Uh,
I
but
know it's
yeah, dude,
say a lot of words weird apparently.
video games are interesting. There's a lot of room there. A lot of I mean, like Pokemon is definitely optimized. It's way out of reach, I think. I mean, that'll still grow because the whole thing is gonna grow. But yeah, you can find sealed stuff pretty cheap still, and I'm trying to pick up just nostalgic games for myself.
Yeah. See, I remember we were talking. You were mostly GameCube guy, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
GameCube
Because
and
GameCube is like my second.
what's your first?
GameCube is
64?
I 64 is my first, but arguably the GameCube is a better system with everything, the controller, the graphics, the
Yeah.
games. But that's the nostalgia attachment to me. Is the 64 was like the first 3D console that I had. I grew up with playing like the original, like the first of
Hmm.
3D games. I did do a lot of GameCube though. Like I played like every GameCube game I probably played. Like honestly, when I was a kid, and that there's so many good games for the GameCube. And I was getting ready. I always kick myself. I was getting ready to dive into GameCube next. Like
Hmm.
I did all my 64 stuff. I did a decent amount of Game Boy, and then the next on the list was the GameCube, and I was gonna start like going heavy on GameCube stuff. And then I switched back to focusing on, you know, Pokemon.
Pokemon,
That
YouTube.
was like the only time I faded from. I wasn't faded from Pokemon. It was literally like, yeah, and then YouTube was next and everything. But like, it was like those that summer of like 3 months where I was still doing Pokemon, but like I was really like interested in video games, steel games, and just video games and consoles. And I kind of like paused Pokemon a little bit. But that was
Hmm.
the only time in the last like 5 to 6 years that I wasn't like going like full force. And then
Yeah.
yeah, there was like YouTube, because that's what happened. The fall came and I was like, let me do a video, and it was like I started posting a little bit of Instagram videos for like a month or two, whatever. Then I hopped to YouTube. So then that was yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, a smart move too. You did really well with the video game stuff. I mean, the value of the skyrocket. I know you bought like
I
cases
can't
of
even
stuff,
imagine.
like fresh stuff, so you have really nice
I
mint
can't even imagine.
copies.
And I haven't looked at it. Like I haven't even had the time to look at like until Miz like he like I saw his video. I was like, dude, like he dropped a video of like his like video game collection. And I think you were telling me before, even right before he dropped the video, you're like Miz would like has like a really cool video game collection.
Hmm.
Um,
That's funny
I
how
was like, oh,
quickly
cool.
that
It,
connection
it literally
happened
was like
too.
then like a day or two later, yeah, he dropped the video, and I was like, it's like, wow, Radar wasn't kidding. Like this is awesome. And then I saw him pulling his games, like, dude, he's got me like back, like the bug back, like I'm ready to like. So I was like, all right, let me jump in and pull out some of my stuff. And I was like, I haven't touched it like since I got a lot of it, and I've just
Hmm.
stored it away, and yeah,
No, that's really
there's
cool. Like I've always had this like weird like this early eye on things. Like I knew Logan Paul was gonna get into stuff like way early. I was DMing him like a year ago. He never responded, but I knew he was gonna get into it. And then Mizkif, I picked up pretty early on too, because he always had that video game collection behind him. So I knew like, all right, there's an opportunity here to get into Pokemon, to get into something.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I hit you up about it, and then he started streaming your YouTube lives, and
Yeah,
I mean, he had 60,000 people watching you, right?
it's crazy.
And you went from 3,000 people alive to 10 like instantly because of the, like that.
What?
And yeah, I mean, the amount of attention that is on Twitch that's being driven to you right now is so big and beneficial, and it has like just started like that. I'm so happy that connection happened, because that's the world that I love. I love the Twitch world, and seeing you on there, and oh, I know Nick. Like Nick's, is, I get to talk with him
Yeah,
every now and then.
it's
Like, it's really cool to see you on these guys' streams, and I know there's a big Pokemon week coming up. I don't know when.
yeah. I think it's like this. I think it's starting. Well, again, when this video drops, but
Yeah.
as of recording, I think it's starting in a couple days. Honestly.
Okay.
So
Well, I might have to throw this one in earlier then. Kick TCA Gaming to the curb. Throw him the following week. Sorry, Rusty, I love you. Yeah,
yeah,
I did Rusty on Friday, Gen Mint yesterday, or no, Rusty Thursday,
yeah,
Gen Mint yesterday, and then you.
that's
Pretty
that
epic.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Don't want to put anybody off. Those guys
No, yeah. No,
are way more interesting than me.
well, no, I mean we get see, this is nice because a lot of my
Yeah.
podcasts have been quite just redundant, doing everyone's story and all that. And I like
Mhm.
that we just have been going on tangents now about a little bit of a little bit of everything here. That's
Yeah. Keep
I
going.
that's what I
Great.
want it to be. I want it to be more just conversations than just
Yeah.
all right, we're red or blue. All right, cool. You've collected
Yeah.
this, you collected that. Like, oh, I
I
did
remember
that
you
too.
asked me that question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And you
people like
switched it
that
up
to
though.
start. Like it
It's
was.
a good start. It's like when you start, you press start, like in the game, you press A, you pick your
Mhm,
character name, and
exactly.
rival, you name like whatever you want to name
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
A lot of good names.
So
I asked that question one time as like a comment for like a giveaway on a video. I was like, all right, what'd you name your rival? And then I totally regret it because I was like, oh my God, people put like the craziest stuff in
yeah,
the
you
comments.
got to be careful
I
with
was
that
like, yeah, I
stuff.
should have known that.
No,
I
that
should go with Gary. I mean, it was just like I just like the anime, so that's what I would do.
I don't remember what I did. I think I just left it as yeah, yeah. I definitely did Gary a couple times, and then
I think it had like the pre-selects that you could do, and then you could like make your own.
I think I one time I called like his name was a duck, so every time his name was thrown in there, it was like a duck sent out Scyther or whatever. Like it was just stupid, but
Hey man, we
yeah,
did stupid things when we were kids,
exactly. Yeah,
like
it was fun.
play with all of our cards and ruin them.
Well, dude, I mean, we haven't even like really talked about Pokemon at all. So for now that you've like collected or opened up just about every WotC box, some unlimited excluded, right? I don't know if have you finished all of them?
Well, so technically, I have opened up every box personally, like whether it was on camera or not. But on the
Right, right.
channel, there are variants of boxes that I definitely haven't opened up, and there are versions of like either like an unlimited. Every single Pokemon set, no, but every WotC box, yes. So there's certain eras that haven't been opened up, certain sets and certain like I haven't opened up Call of Legends yet, and that's like
Mm.
such a tough box to get. And then
That whole
the
Gold Star
Axis.
era is impossible. I mean, you just did Team Rocket Returns, which I thought
Yeah,
you
and
undervalued, by the way, but
yeah, I
the
mean
the
that
EV is tough, so it made
it's a
sense.
top. We were talking about before. I feel like it's a top five EX era set. Um,
Top three.
I think the biggest hurdle to being it getting every single set opened up on the channel is going to be Deoxys. I've said it before during some of the lives. Deoxys is like
Do you own
the
one?
king. I own one, yeah.
Do you
I
own
do
one
own
that
one.
can be opened?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I
No,
know.
I bought one 2017, I think it
What'd you
was.
pay?
Oh, it was probably like 3, 4,000, 5,000, something like that. Yeah.
Well, there's one listed on eBay for 150 grand. I can get it to you for 100.
See, that's the thing. It's like, and that's the other thing. Like, so, like, I'm not going to obviously open up my own in
Right.
my collection, right? And I only
Right.
have one, so it's just like, you know, that's why so to acquire one, so say it's like you got to spend 100,000 to acquire one. It's like, yeah, I can't
And
even imagine the
that's the
price.
really tough thing with those boxes. They
That's
have
the
that
tough
value
thing.
because of that problem. When you
Yeah,
open it,
and
you're
they're
getting nowhere
very
near what you
so that's
paid.
right. So like if you were doing packs at 100K valuation on Deoxys, and you're not even guaranteed the gold star
Right.
or a gold star at all, it's like it's very rough.
Right. Like
So
the
that's
Team
why with
Rocket
Deoxys,
box, you sold at what, 25K,
I think so. Yeah,
30K? That's a
I think it was.
$50,000 box in my opinion. I mean, I'm just throwing
Yeah,
that
it's
number
not
out
bad.
there, but
In terms of scarcity and artwork and history, I'd agree because it's one of those sets where you might only see like people. A lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know that the EX era, um, there's sets you only see them come up for sale once, twice, 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
mhm.
Rocket Returns is probably one of those. You probably count on your hand one of your hands how many times it's been listed this year. And but if you look at like a Jungle or a Fossil, I mean, they're listed nonstop and sold nonstop throughout the year. I mean, they're rare, but like EX, especially big hitter EXs, are just another level.
Yeah.
Deoxys is like you probably see one or two of those sold listed a year at the
Yeah, there's
most.
two right now,
Um,
but they're at astronomical prices.
well,
So,
yeah, so they hit that price ceiling or not
mhm.
ceiling, but like part where the market's not grabbing them because it's a lot of
Right.
money for a
Right.
booster box. So, um, I mean, it's up there as one. It's got to be one of the most expensive booster boxes. It's got to be a top five at least.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, there's no sales data because they
right,
don't
there's no
sell.
sales data.
You know, it's
Yeah,
so that's why, yeah, it's so tough. And yeah, the EX sets, man, they're weird. I remember having the opportunity to buy some, and I just didn't even think about it. I didn't care. I didn't want them, and a lot of people. You could probably say that yourself. I'm sure you passed on a ton back then because you didn't. You were WotC. You were first, second gen.
Watsy, and the I decided I'm so happy and grateful and that I did it, but I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, I extended my booster box collection to the EX era, and I got one of each of the EX era boxes. I almost didn't do it, and I'm so happy that I did because it probably would never happened if I didn't do it when I had like that was like right on the cutoff time to do it. It was like
Hmm.
you either do it now or you're probably not gonna do it, and I probably wouldn't have done it. So
Yeah.
happy that I did it.
Yeah.
Um, but I have almost every one of each box in like the highest um not high but like the so like first edition bait, like first
Mhm.
edition fossil. I think I'm only missing like a handful of stuff from diamond and pearl and maybe like platinum.
Heart gold, soul
So
silver.
yeah, that's another tough one.
Yeah, I just got a couple base packs. No one's
Oh
buying
yeah,
them though. I don't get it. I have the
it's
only ones on eBay. What are you guys doing? Buy them. Uh,
yeah
but
it's like it has to do with too with like the people that are getting into the market and buying and selling collecting right now. It's like they start with like a lot of them start with the oldest stuff,
mhm.
but it takes a lot of time to get to further and further. Like it took me a while to get to like from WotC even just to Gen 2,
Yeah.
then the EX,
Well, we're
so
just now hitting that Gen 2 part. Lugia went for 129,000. We haven't seen the boxes go for
no.
100,000. They're finally at auction right now. PWCC this month is insane. There's 3 first edition Neo Genesis. There's 2 first edition Neo
I
Rev.
heard
There's a
Destiny
Neo
too.
Destiny. Everything, right? Um, so, I mean, let's talk a little bit about the market. How are you feeling about that? I mean, thankfully, you've kind of detached yourself from it by doing your own thing, but um,
Yeah,
do you
in a
have
way,
any? Yeah, I mean, of course,
but I'm
you've got your
still
your net worths in the millions with all the Pokemon you have, but so
so
that
the
fluctuates.
funny thing about that is like I thought it would be cool. I was like, man, one day, like, to be able to maybe like if I do everything right, maybe I'll be able to, you know, one day if I can even sell it, which I'm probably gonna have a problem trying to sell some of my stuff because I don't want to get rid of it. I'm way too attached to it. It's like, but I was like, it'd be cool like to have like a nest egg of like $500,000 or something. Um, and that is part of it too. Is like it's just tough because it's like if somebody wanted to buy like one of my personal collection pieces or something, and it's just like, I don't know. Like it's just like like if somebody tried to like actually buy like the thing that whatever they had listed on eBay, like, I don't know if I could do it. I definitely couldn't do it. Like I
Yeah.
don't. There's no way. Like it's just I just too much attachment to it. But that's like the good thing about it though is like if you don't have people say this all the time, and I'm just re-saying what's been said before, but just to say it really quickly, it's like if you don't have that personal attachment to like genuine interest in Pokemon or whatever you're collecting, you're just gonna probably get rid of it, and then it's like you got to keep it long. It's a long term game,
Yeah.
as everybody
Well, I told
says. But
myself I was getting out when I had 50K, and then I was like, all right, I'll
yeah,
get 100K. Still here. 250K. Still here. I'm still working on that half a mil, but yeah, like I have certain pieces in my collection. I mean, I would be way over 1 million now if I just like listened to you and Ryan and people and whatnot to sell. But like I got my Trophy Kangaskhan right now, right?
yeah, that's sick.
That has such like people think, I flip like crazy. I'm a huge flipper, doing it a lot with trophy cards lately. But that Kangaskhan is directly attached to me pulling that first edition base set Charizard because I want to have it without selling that thing. And that's the one thing people always tell you you should never regret. I get it, you shouldn't. But selling that Charizard, I will forever regret because I opened it. That was my card. That was the card, and I sold it. And obviously the value is like way above what it used to be. I don't care about that. It's just the fact that I opened that thing. I want it back. And I don't know if I'll ever get it back. But so that's what the Kangaskhan is. I have that because of that. So that's to me is so special. And yeah, I've got it up on eBay for 200 grand, which is 50 grand above what the last PSA 10 sold for. But I would, I'd have trouble selling that thing for 200 grand because of that attachment.
Yeah. Well, you can put whatever price you want on it. That's one misconception too. I feel like sometimes it's like, it's worth whatever the market's gonna take on it, but it's also what you're gonna take on it. So if that's the price that you're comfortable at letting it go at, then if one day it sells, then it sells. But if it never sells, you get to keep it. So I get that. I get when somebody asks like a certain price or something. I mean, to a certain extent, obviously, if you put up like a PSA 6 like Weedle for like 100 grand, and we're just no. But like you have a very historic piece of history of the Pokemon TCG. I mean, the trophy card, like it's like a top trophy card, man. I mean, it's an amazing piece to have, and it's gonna hurt to let it go. But there's probably an amount where it would be life changing.
Right.
I mean, realistically, $200,000 to like 99.9% of people is life changing.
Yeah.
So if it's going to change your life, then you can let it go. But if it's something where it's not really, I mean, it'll help. It'll help you out. And if it's not life changing, because I know the same thing with like Scott, like SM Pratt, like for him to let go of something, he said it before. It's like if it's not going to change my life, I'm going to keep this. And even if it is going to change your life, he probably might still keep it because that thing is it's got some crazy stuff like the Illustrator. I mean, that's like he's on the level where it's like if I let this go, I'm never getting it back.
Right.
Like there's no way I'm getting this back.
And it's not even a money problem. It's an accessibility problem.
It's just like, he's like on that level of just like, if it's gone, it is gone, and that's it.
You kind of mentioned you had that thought of like, oh, if I had 500 grand, that'd be awesome. Have you ever had thoughts since then of, hey, should I sell some of this stuff and put it away? Like, I mean, that thought goes through my head a lot. Like, honestly, it goes through my head a lot.
People do ask me that all the time.
Because it's stupid. I mean, I'm still grinding like crazy to get myself into a position that I can collect again, right? I can't collect right now.
Yeah.
And, I go through it almost every day of, 90% of my net worth is in Pokemon. And at some point I kind of did that intentionally, but also, you get lucky with having in the market. Yeah. That's absurd. That's stupid. To have that much.
Investor collector person, they would think you're crazy.
Right. And it is
But
crazy. I mean, it's more of a business at this point than an investment. So like, yeah, put all your money into your business and hope you succeed. So I see that aspect. But
yeah.
yeah, I still have that thought almost weekly of
Well, it's like,
selling.
okay, if you sell everything and then you wake up the next day, you have all the money from what you sold. It's like, what would you do next, like realistically? Like for me personally, I'm really not materialistic whatsoever. Like I
Mhm.
own like one like $40 watch. Like I wear the same like shorts, you know, like I have like the same shirt. Like I like I don't. Yeah, like like I'll wear this like off camera too. Like I have a tank top like underneath. Like I literally just walk around my house with, like a tank top on. Um, uh, my car. I don't have like a crazy like car or anything. I think my car was like like 20 grand or something. I bought it like 5 years ago. Um, and for me, I don't like. There's nothing like I don't like desire like these things to like that I would use that money on. Like yeah, I like to have a nice like studio. Like I like to have like I'm very like I try to be like really organized and clean and stuff like a clean like background and look and everything like
Mhm.
stuff like that. Um, but like outside of that, I like okay, so now I have money. I sold all my stuff, but it's like
Right.
all right, what's up? Like what am I gonna do now? Like go on vacations? Like I mean, that's cool. But again, going back for like, this is just personally, like, if that's what people want to do, like, that's totally awesome. And like,
Mhm.
all for it and to make you happy or whoever. But like, for me, I get bored, man. I get bored. I'll go on the beach an hour. I'm like bugging to get moving. Like, I can't sit. And it's weird. It's like a weird thing and like, I can't sit. I can't like I'll go on vacation. It'll be cool. Like I'll be like, all right, let me go on vacation though. But it's gonna be like 2 days and I'm back. Like I've got to be
Yeah.
back in action. I don't know, man. It's like it's weird, but like so like I think about that kind of stuff and I don't like I don't know what I would do with that money. Like honestly, like I just really like it would just probably just sit there and it would just be like, all
I
right,
would just buy food. I love eating
like yeah,
like really good food. That's about it. And
really good
then
food. Go out to eat. Like I do that too.
yeah, yeah,
That
like
would be it. But I'm comfortable. Like I'm comfortable. Like I
yeah.
like I have food on the table. I have
Mhm.
a house, a roof over my head, and I have the funds to take care of my family, pay the bills and live comfortably. But outside of that, I don't have any sort of like these like grand like desires or anything. So for me, it's
Mhm.
just I'm happy with the Pokemon stuff. I'm happy with the channel. I'm happy opening things up. I'm happy having these things around me.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, and maybe pass on that to the next generation, like my kids. So,
Mhm.
um, obviously, like to a certain extent, you don't want to like spoil your kids, like like it's like oh here you go, he's like here you go, like whatever you're called when you get like the big inheritance or whatever.
Trust fund babies.
Trust fund, like a trust fund thing, like so that would for me like again that would be something. This is like all personal things that I'm saying about, but like for me, I don't think I would want that for my kids. Like I wouldn't want them to be like, all right, like here we go, we're good, like and then just like live the dream. But like again, going back to the beginning of the conversation, like being in the corner,
Mhm.
like if I was like a trust fund kid or something, I would not be in the corner. I would be like just doing my thing. Like
Yeah.
I would be completely different. I wouldn't have that work ethic or anything. So
Yeah.
it's like a balance there. So I don't know. Maybe just we'll just take all the boxes to the grave, and then we'll just
Well, that's
or just give them out. Just give them out
yeah,
to
that's
people
the
or
thing.
something.
Like I talked to Ryan about that. I'm like, yeah, you don't want to leave these to your kids because they're not gonna do it
They
correctly,
won't care. I
right?
mean, but they'll probably have the memories attached to like
You want to leave a little
this
bit, but
stuff,
you don't
but
want to
not.
leave everything behind you. No, leave them a shelf.
Yeah,
Let them
you
have
do.
that.
Yeah, you do like what some of these other guys do. They're
Right.
just like they give them a certain
Like
amount to just
Bill Gates just gives them 5%, 95% goes to whatever, right?
yeah, and then just donate the rest or do whatever. Like that
Yes.
that would probably realistically be the end game. Like take care of family members,
Hmm.
donate, and then leave a little bit like that.
And
Um,
then open a
because
ton for
again, going
yourself.
back, like I feel like I'm never gonna sell like my stuff, my
Well,
personal
that's what
stuff.
I
Like,
told Ryan. I'm like, dude, if you're on your deathbed and you still have all this stuff, let's just open it.
dude,
Let's
yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah,
like
just
what? Come on, man. Like, don't bury it with you. Don't give it to someone who's not going to appreciate it.
yeah.
Let's.
Oh, I
In,
remember I heard him say that.
he said
He
no.
said like pour
Pour
yeah, he
concrete
said
on
like
it.
pour concrete on them. Yeah, when I say bring to the grave, I just mean like just whatever. Like once I'm gone, like wherever it gets
Right.
dispersed to, but not like selling it like in my lifetime, like
Right.
being like alive and being like, okay, I'm selling this. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I'd have a panic attack.
I mean, it'll take you 20 years to sell all the stuff you have. Um, but dude, I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of weird to think about because I talked to Gary about that, and I tried to bring it up to
Yeah,
like Dave Person because I had him on the podcast too, and they're getting to that age where it's time to think about what you're passing on to your kids, and I mean they know
yeah,
well that the kids don't know what they're doing with it, and of
yeah,
course they want to hold on to what they want to hold on to like the day they actually die, but there's a solid majority of that stuff that can be utilized to help the family donate to the right cause and get personal enjoyment
yeah.
out of it. So, um, yeah, that's just always an interesting thing that I like to ask people with vast collections such as yours to,
Yeah. The
um,
cool thing with Gary though is he was like living it in the day, man. I mean, he was just opening up whatever, like base set when it was like $100 a box, like they just like a
yeah,
bag of potato chips, pop
yeah,
it open, boom, just
it's
go
like
in.
what you're doing
And,
today with Vivid Voltage and all this stuff. That's what he was doing with
right.
base
Yeah.
set and jungle and fossil and all that stuff. Like,
And you see Evolutions is like, 450, 500 a booster box. And,
gosh,
it was you could go in Evolutions, just basically open it up for nothing. And, and now it's getting to the point where, it's becomes expensive. I mean, it's a half a grand if you want to open a box of Evolutions.
I
It used to be a meme.
yeah,
Evolutions used to be a meme. People would be like you're actually going to hold on to Evolutions and blah blah. Like, I mean, I held on to some Evolutions because I see it as like
mhm.
a set that, yeah, there's a crazy amount of supply and everything like that, but like, I mean,
So much fun to
it is
open.
nostalgia.
Yeah,
It's like the affordable base set
hmm
is what it is.
yeah,
Which now it's kind of affordable, but it's really all perspective. I mean, if you're
right.
like, you have to think about like $500 for a booster box
It's a
is
lot.
like it's somebody could be working a whole week. Like I remember I work a whole week, make $500, and
Yeah,
it's all that for a booster box.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I missed out on that opportunity. I saw it clear as day, and I just didn't do
It was
it.
like there was a good amount of people that saw it, and
Yeah, I just didn't
and
do it.
I remember
Like
I kept saying on the channel,
I had
I was like, yeah,
when I had 20 cases in my
yeah,
cart with our favorite, 90s distributor website, Hills, and I just didn't do it. It was $500 a case, and I just didn't do it. And
yeah.
two months later, $300, and it was still a
See,
meme at $300, and now it's here to stay,
yeah.
dude. Like,
Yeah. Like I I would always talk about on the channel when it was $90 a box, 100, 115, like all the time. I was like, you guys are crazy not to grab some Evolutions right now. Like this is like it's not gonna last forever. And then because in my mind, I was like, all right, Evolutions, it'll probably double. I was like, it'll probably be like $200 for a booster box, like within a year or so. I was like, that's solid. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
$200 for a box, and that's like double right there. And have something to open up or whatever you want to do with it. Wake up like literally like the next day you wake up, it's like $200 a box. A couple days later, 300, 400, and it stabilizes. Goes to 450, 500,
hmm
and people are like, "Oh, it's not going to stay. It's going to crash." And it's like
still
it's
here.
been staying there for pretty long time now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been like months. I feel like.
Well, no longer printing it. Can't get it from distributors. Sure, it's coming in some new products
You
still,
get the
but
Kanto box, but everybody's in the Pokemon game right now, Flipper game. So they'll go to Walmart and buy them all, and that's it. And you can't
right,
get it. So even if it is the Kanto box, is
that's
not
one
really.
thing I wanted to tell you near the end because I know you'll be disappointed in me, but because I wasted your time basically. I called you on the phone one day while I was still working my 9 to 5 and was asking about the whole business side of things and setting up with a distributor. Wasted your time doing this phone call, and I never went through with it. So I never got linked up with the distributors that we talked about doing. And now that everyone's doing it, they're not even taking applications anymore. So
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I missed out on that.
I heard. I didn't know. So I feel like there's. I think it depends on which distributor you're going with. You might be able to get in on some distributors still,
Okay.
unless because there are a lot of distributors. I think there's like
Right.
maybe a dozen.
hmm
So I wouldn't give up quite yet. I would
Okay.
try the other ones until you get an application through.
Okay.
I wouldn't think of it as a waste of time at all because you like again you're still thinking about that now, and it's still something that can happen from
Yeah.
that conversation. So, but yeah, I heard from some, I forget where I heard it from, but it was like, yeah, man, distributors are getting like 5x the amount of applications coming through. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, like, they're tapped out on like how much are they going to slice it up? Because every time
Right.
somebody applies for it, they got to slice up the allocations.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep getting more and more people that keep slicing up allocations as and demand is growing. So it's like, I think we're at the point now. I was told through my distributor that I don't know if it's the same again for all distributors, but we're at the point now where you used to go like I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get 100 cases of hidden fates. I'm gonna put an order in on the tins. I'm gonna get 100 of this, 100 of whatever the number is,
Mm-hmm.
and then most of the time you could hit your allocations. I mean, they would be like they put the order in through Pokemon and they could do it, and then it started getting to the point where they're like, yeah, we can't do that. We're gonna cut you to like 20% less than what you ordered. And they're like, yeah, we got to cut more, like 30% less and
Split it
40.
up between two different print dates.
And split it. Wait for the next drop. We'll get you
Mm-hmm.
some more. We'll fill your order. It's at the point now where this is just happening through. Like this is currently happening this week and last week, where I don't think you're gonna be able to put orders in. They're gonna email everybody that's in, and they're gonna say this is your allocations, or this is your max allocation that we're offering to each business or person.
Mm-hmm.
Take it or leave it, or take less of it. But most people,
Are gonna
since the allocations are getting lower, they're gonna take it.
right.
And I think that's happening with Shining Fates.
Shining Fates. Did you put? Has that come out yet? When does the pre-order start with that?
So
Thought
I
it already
can't
happened.
put my orders in because
Oh.
they're saying we're gonna tell you
Mm-hmm.
what we can get you, and you're gonna say yes. You're gonna say yes.
Yeah, because
This is what you got it.
people were like estimating like 10% allocation, 15% allocation for this stuff. And yeah, as it was progressing, and I always keep tabs. Like this is what I'm known for at this point is my like relationships with people. Like I have my hands in everything. Like I know you really well. I know it, Steve Aoki. I know Gary. I know S. and Pratt. I know all these guys really well. So like I'm just like this. I'm like
You're like the guy in
I'm
the
Jimmy
middle of
Fallon
the
of Pokemon.
yeah. No, you really are. You really are. I've told you that multiple times throughout the years. Like one time we were on a call recently. I'm like, dude, you're like the guy, and that's why you're in your position too, is because you're. When I say you're the podcast guy of Pokemon, you are because like going back to building up all those relationships and all that stuff. Like you have like all those in place, and you have people come on and everything like that. So you that's what it is with you. Like that's why you can like you're like taking over the podcast game. Pokemon. So
Well, hopefully it keeps doing well. I'm really loving it. But yeah, like everybody that I know that's doing this stuff, like as it was progressing, they were just putting in these ridiculous orders because they knew they weren't going to get anything. So
yeah,
I can't imagine what like the numbers
that's
actually
exactly what
look
it was.
like. You know, people were ordering 1,000 cases, knowing they would only maybe get 200,
Yeah,
and I know some of those people wouldn't be able to afford 1,000 cases.
because
So
yeah, the thing because they would cut you like if you like you have to do it that way or
mhm,
you had to. I don't like this is like a whole different ball game right now. But like you said, like if you only put 200 in, you're gonna get cut.
mhm,
You're gonna get cut 75%. So you got to push like you said like 1,000 and then get that cut because you know it's coming. So that's like the thing with that distributor, but they already know that this is happening now, and it's like
mhm,
completely out of hand. And with all the people that signed up and everything, everybody that wants to get in on a distributor level, um, getting it cut up even more.
mhm.
So they're gonna email. Like I don't know
So
if
they're
it's just like
changing.
I just doing it or if they're
Yeah,
gonna do for all of them. But they're gonna be like, yo, like this is what you got, and it's across the board, and that's it.
I can
Like,
imagine
I mean,
it'll be that. Yeah, I can imagine it'll be the case for most distributors then. That's interesting.
and for the foreseeable future, man, I don't see Pokemon slowing down. It's not and not 2021. I mean, unless
Yeah,
there's some kind of like massive like economic just spiral, which is possible, which is very
we're
possible.
overdue.
Um, pretty overdue. Pretty pumped up on their thing right
Yeah,
now, riding off of free money, but
yeah,
from the government, and just
yeah.
spending on. But it was some, yeah,
It's
something's
scary.
probably bound to kind of get
It's
a little
scary, man.
iffy.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think that's hopefully all distributors do that to protect people because if like I don't know what's going on their back end with manufacturing, but I would have to assume that there's still manufacturing limitations, logistic limitations that Pokemon's going through, so they can't pump out as much as they would be able to in a normal scenario.
No,
Um,
what? Yeah, they're just.
so if things get fixed, basically, and we go back to normal, what is that supply going to look like versus the demand? Because again, everyone's speculating
Yeah,
that the demand's so high that because everyone's at home and can't do anything, which makes a lot of sense. So
yeah,
when they're able to go outside and spend money on other things, and Pokemon's able to, manufacture or build that supply that meets that old demand, then people who are putting in 1,000 case orders are going to be getting 1,000 cases
yeah. Right.
and stuck with it. So
Yeah.
hopefully there's people are smart about it. But yeah, dude.
I see it like I see I honestly like, and I always give my honest opinion. Like I always tell people like I haven't taken like a single sponsorship or anything. Like if I say like I like this product or I like this, like that's like my true feeling on it. And I like that way. But like so my feeling for Pokemon really for 2021 is I see it just continuing like 2020. I just feel like it's just either being like at least the same or just like crushing up even higher with the 25th.
Hmm.
Feel like a lot of people see it that way, but I mean, they're basically. I don't know if the rumors are confirmed. I think they're confirmed. I don't know, but Shining Fates is not the anniversary set, so there's gonna most likely be like an Evolutions 2.0 or whatever the
Are
name
we
of the
gonna
set.
get Neo Genesis?
Like my guess was either like a Neo type evolution set or like moving into like fossil jungle rocket type thing. That's my guess. I would
Really? I
lean
didn't hear about that yet. I mean,
yeah.
well, that not that. Well, obviously that's a guess, but the fact that Shiny Fates isn't.
It's not. Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's confirmed rumor or something, but like it's I think it's on Poke Beach too if you check, but like I think it's supposed to be in the summer or fall release or something. I don't know the
Really
release dates, but it's it's supposed to be like it's like a confirmed rumor or something. I don't know, but yeah. So it's not like
interesting.
Shining Fates is not the anniversary set.
So
So
they're just
that's what
pumping
I'm saying.
out an extra set basically now.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
doing like it's just
another half set.
what they're yeah. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna. And the rumor that was confirmed or whatever. Again, they said that it was gonna be a point 0.5 set. So not no booster boxes. So like Evolutions was booster boxes. The anniversary set isn't gonna be booster boxes, from what I've heard and stuff.
Hmm.
So it'll be like a Hidden Fates, a Shining Fates, where again, you want to open up 36 packs? Okay, here's your giant case. This is like
God,
how big the room takes up for 36 packs with all the
I can't believe they do that.
plastic and boxes and coins and your whatever like your promo card and all this stuff and
Jumbos.
your ETB. Yeah, it's just like uh so that's why I'm like 2021 is gonna be
Yeah.
ridiculous for Pokemon.
Well, that's the first I'm hearing of that, and that's pretty awesome because I remember like talking about the fact that they need to do a Neo Genesis evolutions type thing like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Someone posted something like it on E4, and I was like, yes, yes. Um,
They have to know like evolutions.
with how well it did, it's a no brainer for them. Just
It's
for
yeah,
their aspect, it's a no brainer for Pokemon to do that. Um,
100%.
but it's funny, yeah, things have flip flopped for me where obviously I've always done vintage. I've always paid attention to vintage, and I was so certain about where it was going. And modern was just like, I don't understand this. I don't know what's happening. Things were going up and down because of reprints, and you know, uh, now it's completely flip flopped. I am so confident in modern. I don't care how much they print. It's
Right.
doing so well. It's so strong. It's so much fun. Pokemon's like they're hitting the needs of collectors. They're hitting the needs of players. Like they're doing
Yeah.
it really well. People still complain about, oh, they need to make a collector set. They are. They gave us the Charizard before Japan. They gave us these hyper rares. Like they gave us the shiny
Yeah.
vault. This is perfect for collectors. And people were just
Shining Fates. is gonna be the biggest modern set of all time.
Yeah, and
Well, I'm not including like 99 or whatever, but like
yeah,
XY Sun and Moon, it's gonna crush. It's gonna crush.
yeah. Like I've been complaining about it being all Gen 8 Pokemon, but to be honest, it's getting me into Gen 8 Pokemon, and it's so much fun to open, so much fun to watch Shiny Star V. I've been watching it nonstop. Like it's all. I can't wait. I can't
The
wait.
shiny, yeah, the subset, the shiny set, 130, I think, is
Hmm.
the I mean,
Yeah.
Hidden Fates. You go open that all day to try to complete the set, the
I
shiny
wish I
set.
kept it all, dude. That I opened, I sold everything. I got a couple cards
Well,
left, but I do have some
say
ETBs.
reprints.
Well,
Yeah,
I thankfully, I work with a couple stores, and they allocate me some
yeah.
stuff, so I should get
That's
some
solid.
hidden fates, like maybe
Yeah.
half a case or something.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing, right? With the reprints, this is like print number 4 for Hidden Fates, and it's still
yeah.
however much a pack, and it's still however hard to find. Because that's the thing with the reprints is like they reprint it like Ultra Prism, like all these sets or whatever. I think Cosmic they're supposed to reprint, but it's like
Hmm.
it's not even anywhere near enough. It's
Yeah.
still like it's just like a little extra. Like I said it the other day, it's like a little like drip. Like they take a drip and they put it in a bucket of like water. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is with the reprint. So people get afraid of reprints. It's just another chance to be able to grab some product at a reasonable price.
Yeah. And I'm so uncertain about vintage now. Bubbles everywhere, things going up crazy.
So
I'm scared.
some things have corrected. Yeah,
I don't.
I've always been like hesitant, and I always tell people this because I'm always I'm always upfront with how I feel about things on it. But with graded cards, not even just modern, which specifically mostly with modern rated cards, but
Mhm.
and also with vintage. Because I always tell people, they're always like, "Oh, do you think this card will be worth this in a year?" Or should I hold? I'm like, I don't know. I never knew, and I'm not saying like that. I don't know. The only thing I know is sealed product. I
Mhm.
only know that sealed product. There's only going to be less of it,
Yeah.
and people want to open it up, experience. Like so many different factors. And again, nothing wrong with collecting graded cards or investing in it. It's just when somebody asks me what's going to happen with like a PSA 10 Moltres first edition from Fossil, I say I have no idea. It could be worth like this much or this much in a year. I really don't know. So
Mhm.
any cards that I would always get that were graded cards or loose cards that I didn't want for my collection, I didn't speculate on them. I just sell it or trade it and then
Mhm.
just get what I wanted. Um, but yeah, so with the modern stuff, the with people really again going back to like the experience when we first started this conversation, that's even with modern that stands because people want the experience, man. People want
Mhm.
to open up packs.
Yeah.
That's what it is with Pokemon.
Yeah.
People want to open up packs.
They want to chase that
So
Charizard. They want to chase that shiny. Yeah. That's
yeah,
exactly right.
and obviously there's a price there's a cost to that to for the pack to open it up and
Mhm.
again going back to like less packs and all that stuff. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I've
yeah,
treated. I've always looked at it. Graded cards are stocks. They're extremely volatile. You need to know every little thing about that stock to do the best on it. And then sealed product are the mutual funds. They're diversified. They have all those single cards in there. Like you said, the quantity's only going down. So, I mean, for those that try to compare it to traditional financial world, like that's exactly how it is. There's pump and dumps in stocks. That's happening right now with PSA cards, with single cards. There's pump and dumps happening. And the safest position to be at is in sealed product. You just have to not open it. Stop
yeah.
opening.
Well,
Stop.
then people
People are
and a lot of
gambling.
people that don't
It's
understand from the outside, they're like, oh well, why don't they just reprint base set and then it'll be worthless. But it's like, well, they did. It's called evolutions, and
yeah.
it didn't do anything to base set because that was printed. Because when I was new to collecting, I had to understand that.
Hmm.
I asked the question, well, they're gonna come out with evolution, so isn't that gonna crash base set? I didn't have a collector mindset yet. I still didn't understand. I understood it, but I didn't understand it. I didn't have like that mindset that you get from just
Being in
doing
it.
something and learning over the years. So I was like, oh man, like I feel like evolution is like that's the same card, right? And I was like, no, like it's way different. Like it was printed like 16 years, 17 years later. Like all that kind of stuff comes into play when people look in from the outside.
Yeah.
They're like, what is this Pokemon thing? This is a bubble. Like, oh, is this? Why would you pay this for this? Like, not understanding it all, and so you're actually in it, like
Hmm.
we are living it every day. Like
Right.
I wake
Right.
up and it's like
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Pokemon right away. Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
that the reprints just drive interest to the originals, and that's kind of how the collector like artwork world is.
yeah,
Like
that's what it
the
is.
more awareness there is, people go towards the original, and that just creates more and more demand. Um, but yeah, if you're ever gonna open anything, just do it for the experience, not for the gamble of trying to make
Yeah.
money. That's what you're paying
That's my
for.
first video. My very first video. That's what I said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first video I ever put up was gambling opening product, and I put like I said like when you're opening product, and even when you're jumping in for box openings or breaks or whatever, it's not an invest. You're not investing. You're having fun,
Hmm.
and it's the experience that you get out of it. And yeah, you can get a cool card and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
obviously, people are always gonna like that sort of like gambling
Aspect.
aspect of it. But you know, it's at the end of the day, you have to. It's for fun.
Hmm.
You're just having fun. If you come out ahead, cool. If not, like if you don't, then you don't. But don't do it to try to come out ahead as like sort of like
Right.
an investment,
Right.
whatever you want
And
to say.
we're coming up 2 hours here, and I want to close it off by saying like,
Yeah,
you were the right person to fall into that place to do that for people. You're creating such a great community and entertainment for these people buying packs, and for the people that that complain about every little thing, whether you're like this true collector that is hating that sealed products being open. That's what it's for. It was made to be open. Enjoy it, love it, be a part of it. Don't sit back and cry about it. Like, be
yeah,
a part of the Poke Cave. I'm sure I have this bigger attachment to you because we have a longer relationship, so it's fun for me to watch. But like, be a part of it. Enjoy that, and from that opening aspect of spending money and all that, like, we're paying for the entertainment from you, and you are really at the top of the game. You're doing so well with it. You're putting so much work, so much effort. Like, it's a thankless job right now. I mean, I'm sure you're not doing too bad, but like, like it's
that's the
something
cool thing
that.
about it too is like you can jump in it, you can be a part of it as much as you want or
Mhm.
as little as you want. You can just watch, you just watch the opening
I watch you
because
for free. I don't pay for your membership.
yeah, well,
I
that's the thing. You could sit
actually,
back.
I wanted to mention this. I'm pretty sure I was the first person ever to donate to you, by the way, and give.
During the storage thing.
Yep, and
Yeah.
give away. I gave away a pack on stream too, and I swear that
Oh,
just
you
like
did.
snowballed. That just snowballed. Like, everybody started
Yeah, yeah,
donating.
yeah, yeah. The giveaways, the
Yeah,
giveaways. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Because I remember I was like, dude, is this what is this called, a super chat? And I saw because I was on my phone, I couldn't see, it, and I was like, yo, Radar, what's up, dude? Like, thank you, man. And yeah, yeah. And then the giveaways happen, and
yep.
like, but yeah, so like what you said though, in like closing, right? It's like the boxes were made to be opened up, and if it wasn't done this way, you wouldn't see these booster boxes really ever get opened up. You know,
It would be
like
gone. History
there's
would be
not going to be
dead.
one person that's going to take that risk opening up a $40,000 box or whatever it is and take that all on themselves.
Hmm.
So this is the sort of like new age, I don't know what everyone call it, whatever,
This is
but
the way to
like this
do
is
it.
the way that booster boxes will be opened up for entertainment, for every like all the different aspects of it, because realistically, like before this year, you really didn't really see stuff like, I mean, you see stuff getting opened up, but
Hmm.
I mean, like who opens up a rocket booster box, right? It's like
Right. It was never and financially smart for an individual to do. Like, if you were,
for one person to take that on,
yeah, to
right?
take, it was huge. Like, and it always will be huge. So
Yeah,
I just love that you're providing that for us and for the community, and doing it in such a professional and positive way. Um, so yeah, thank you for that. Like,
I appreciate
truly,
it.
like, thank you
I'm
for
I'm happy to hear that, man.
like, I'm,
That makes me happy. It means I'm doing something right.
yeah,
At least
yeah.
one thing.
I'm really, really happy that you took that leap and decided to go all in on this, because I mean, not just me, but a lot of us, Zach and Ryan and all these guys, we saw that opportunity, and you saw it obviously, and like to me, this isn't shocking. I knew you were going to be huge. I know that you're going to be bigger than Leonhardt. You're going to be bigger than Unlisted Leaf. You're going to be the guy. Like it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Too
And
kind, man. Too kind.
I'm just so happy for you, man. And I love the merch. I love the shirt. I can't wait for whatever else you're coming out with
Hey,
so I can get it. Um,
when you see it, you're gonna be like, it's crazy. But yeah, and then like all the OGs, right, man? Like they're the inspiration there too. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, people paving the way throughout the years. Like, I obviously don't think of, you know,
Well,
everything
that's
myself. You have to draw the inspiration from all these guys that have been doing it for years, and like seeing the great accomplishments that they've, had throughout all of the years of doing all this stuff, and like starting even back when, like, even before like Pokemon Go was even out, like just like taking it and just going with it, and being consistent, like putting in that work. So, you know, everybody throughout that's put in that work and time and effort and risk. It's like risk, man. Like it is a
huge.
risk to go for your dream and stuff. And so it's cool to see all of these dudes like just making their way and doing what they love. That's the
Yeah.
end of the day, like being happy and doing what you love, and being able to financially live off of that. Like
Hmm.
that's sick. And impacting other people's in a positive way.
Yeah.
That's what it's all
And,
about. So
you're building that for the next era, dude. The next generation. There's so many people watching you, and you're handling it so well. So thank you again, and I appreciate all this time. I know how crazy busy you are, and but
dude,
yeah,
I've been needing to get on this for like it's been like I was like a month now, like
yeah,
trying to get on with you. But man, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man.
yeah.
Don't forget, I was one of the first 3 on the podcast
That's
here.
right. That's right. PokeRadar was the original. But yeah, and dude, I know I keep saying it, but I am gonna make my way out there. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna sleep on your couch, and we're gonna do something
Oh
together.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to I want to do a little Poke tour, and just be sure to connect personally with my people, my friends. So looking forward
I'll tell you
to
what, dude, hopefully, I don't know if Worlds is coming up 2021 or not, but if it is, that'll be awesome.
yeah.
If not,
You'll go to London.
I mean, I was like, well, I was looking into it and everything. I was like,
I
all
was
right,
ready to go. me,
yeah,
me
I
and
know
Swole
you.
Poke had a room together. We were all ready to go. So
This, yeah, even bigger.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, man. Well, have a great night. I know it's late. You probably got to get up and open 10,000 packs tomorrow. But
7,500. Yes.
7,500. All right, man. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon.
I appreciate it.